Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is your pal, Steve Brown, and catch Dave and Ty on Nez Says every Thursday night on YouTube. Crank it up.
We're live once again, and you're tuned into Nez Says, a place where musicians can get together and inspire each other to play more guitar. It is April 28th, and beautiful day out here in New York today. It was like 85
Beautiful
degrees.
here as well.
Yeah. Well, how you guys doing? Ty, Ben, how are you?
I'm great, Dave. Good to see you.
Same here.
Ben's wearing the coolest shirt of the night.
Well, you know, I try. Dress for success, I'm told. I learned that from a guy named Ty Price once. So I decided, we'll go a little old school tonight, yeah, another week in the YouTube world. Things happening. We're talking tone tonight. Oh, it's going to be fun because, like, I've known about this guy for a while. You know, he's one of those guys that he goes into a chat and the hosts are like, hey, the Chad is here. He has arrived. The man, the myth, the legend, the guitar collector, flipper, guru of the locking nut, because if it's a hardtail, he just walks right by it.
That's funny.
It.
His new name is going to be Flipper from now on.
I was going to say I need to change my name to Flipper.
What a great name. What's up, Flipper?
Jay's the returner. I'm the Flipper. I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure. I'm glad you joined us.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Here we got a few people in the chat here. We got Dan in New Jersey, Thomas Santiago, Guitar Man 45.
Dan. Hey, Thomas.
Custom
Guitar Man.
Craig.
Hey, Craig.
Some guy named Ty Price, probably imposter, sure. Matthew Stewart's here, though. Some guy named Ben Coombs, likely a troll. Super Fuzz is here, though, and that makes a world of difference right there. So we can get fuzzy. I've been known to.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it could happen.
Great to see you, Chad. And
good to be seeing all of you.
Look forward to seeing some of your new stuff here. Some of the stuff we haven't seen before.
Yeah, I'm hoping to pull some of that out. I have more than just Van Halen guitars.
All good to me. I'm a fan of. If it's a guitar I haven't seen before, I'm happy. I'm one of those guys.
Yeah, and I know I don't collect like Dave does some of the classic stuff, but all the shows you've been doing, Dave, at the Well-Strung Guitars, that's some incredible stuff. I mean, again, not up my alley, but to see you do that stuff, I mean, just to touch those things has to be a treat.
To
Very
touch
cool
a $500,000 guitar every week is insane.
My God.
And the thing is, they trust me like it's like I'm part of the family, which is great. And you can't look at these things like you can't look at a 59 Les Paul as a 59 Les Paul, because then it becomes like, oh my God, I'm holding a $500,000.
Yeah.
You gotta think of it as I'm just holding a guitar, because I'm not dropping.
That'd be hard to do.
I'm not dropping this guitar. It's not a $500,000.
Right.
But it's you gotta think of those things as if it's just a regular guitar, and just be careful.
I'd be a little sweaty palms and
Yep.
Hey, Janice. Good to see you. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Craig, I saw that you were loving the single coils lately. I saw this really cool, vintage white Strat that you had. And at first, it was reminiscent of one of Yngwie's old, kind of buttery Strats, which I have a soft spot for. And I love single coil pickups, even though in most live contexts, I use humbucker-driven guitars in most of them. But nothing sounds better to me than a single coil guitar.
Nice.
Love it. Hey, Tony, good to see you.
Yeah, I love an underwound single coil in a Strat. Ooh. Less winds, the better. Just enough to make a circuit. That's it.
Well, there's something really special about, for me as a rock player, something really special about single coils, neck pickup, overdriven amp. I'm into that. Love it.
I do like the bubbly sound of a neck pickup single coil. That bubbly,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
glassiness. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yep. That Hendrix, SRV, so many guys.
But you know what? I also love the bridge pickup of a really good Stratocaster.
Yep.
You know, when it's not too bright, it's not too ear piercy, just ear piercy.
That's Steven's cousin.
Yeah. Very funny.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. A great bridge pickup is you can't get better than that, as far as I'm concerned. I'm a big fan of bridge pickup in any guitar.
Sure.
You like the 60 cycle hum.
It's part of the sound of a Stratocaster. Just once you lose that, it's not a Strat anymore.
And I'll tell you what else. I love Stratocasters. I like 10 to 38s on a Stratocaster. Set up a half step down, E flat.
10 to 38.
10 to 38.
Okay.
I dig it. If you've never tried that, Chad, you should try it, man. I mean, it's a fun time, and it's a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, I found something interesting kind of on the subject of strings, at least. I've been watching a lot of Paul Gilbert videos for whatever reason. But he was talking about he plays eights now. I mean, he doesn't.
Paul plays eights at the beginning of every tour, and then as his hands get stronger, he goes up in gauge. He ends his tours on 11s.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised to hear of a player, but Paul Gilbert, big hands, some of those Ibanez guitars,
Yeah.
especially in recent years, big necks, right?
All of his guitars have humongous necks on them.
Lots of tone, right? And to hear that he's playing eights, that's wild. Craig says he's playing eights now.
Yeah, I just saw him on an interview recently, and he was talking about playing eights, and he didn't mention Dave about touring, but he just said talking about his hands aren't as strong as they used to be. Now, I know nobody's touring right now, obviously, so maybe once he starts, he'll start doing that, and like Dave said, maybe he'll go back up to 11s, but I can't imagine playing 11s and playing like he does with the bending.
Right. Yeah. Bob says that Billy Gibbons plays eights. Yeah, I've heard Billy does it. I've heard Angus does it. I've heard there's a lot of players that play eights. Bozique's nines or tens for Bozique, he says.
Speaking of great guitar players, Bob Barkas is an amazing guitar player. He lives here on Long Island, and I played in a band for like 5 minutes with him back in maybe the early 90s. And boy, an amazing guitar player. He knows his shit. He's a schooled guitar player. He knows he's like Robin Ford kind of guy. Really, really good guitar player.
Yeah. Cool. Welcome, Bob.
Yeah.
Craig mentions about Billy playing sevens. And look, Craig makes a good point here. Eights make it easy for me. I like the time better, and that's what it's about right there.
That's exactly what it's about.
That's what it's about right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. It's whatever you're comfortable with. Who cares what anyone else thinks? They're not playing your instruments. You have to play them, and you have to like them.
Yep.
That's all it's about. So play what you like. Do what you like.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I find a lot of guitars will tell you what strings. Like Chad, we were talking about my Music Man earlier. When I got it, the guy had it strung with 10 through 46. I'm a nines guy. So I played it with 10s for a few months, and I threw a set of 9s on it, and it lost mojo. I went, it likes 10s.
Yeah.
And then put 10s on it again. Boom, back to life.
And it felt good. Sounded good.
Yeah, and it was smart. And I swear, it's that 1% better sound, and all of a sudden you feel better about it. And then it's a little placebo, but it isn't. The effect is bigger than what it is. But yeah, it liked it. I'm like, okay, well, if that's what you want, fine. Why fight it?
Yeah, I wonder how. I mean, I have mine. Most of my guitars are 9s. I have a few with 10s for sure. But I feel like the Floyd Rose, depending on whether it's decked or whether it's floating, is way different with 10s and 9s. I tend to go with 10 nines because I feel like the Floyd is nicer feeling with nines.
Yeah, Floyd.
But that's a lot
Roses-
about setup too. I
Well,
mean,
Floyd Roses react best with nines on them. They just do.
okay.
But you
Well,
know,
well, let me ask you a question about that, Dave, because I think every Floyd guitar you've set up for me, I'm sitting here trying to recall real quick. They all have nines on them,
9 through 42.
and a great. It's always a great setup. But Phil Collin from Def Leppard, and I really like his playing, by the way. He uses really heavy strings with that Floyd.
Yes, he does.
12s.
13s,
13s,
actually.
12s, and 13s
Wow.
with a heavy metal pick,
Yeah.
which I like. I like his attack. I like what he gets out of that guitar. So how does he play a Floyd equipped guitar with strings that heavy? I mean, how many springs must he have?
Well,
in the
he's
back?
probably got
17.
He's probably got. Well, actually, he's using FU tone stuff, so he's probably got the big red springs, the heavy ones. He
Yeah.
probably has 3 of those, and his Floyds probably don't. They're all floating, all of them.
Yep.
So they probably don't flutter because the strings are so heavy. But and when you pushing down on the bar, it's probably a very heavy feel. But for him, that's what he likes. Hey,
Yeah.
Dwight
Yeah.
Bailey. So
Hey,
you know,
Dwight.
again,
Hey,
it's
Quentin Green.
it's all
Pops.
it all depends on what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Well,
got
he's got
2
all
of his
those muscles
guitars.
too, so he probably it feels like nines to him because he's like in shape and stuff. And,
I mean, that guy doesn't. He comes out on stage with no shirt on. So God.
Right. But I have 2 of his guitars, and I thank God they didn't come with 13s on them.
Oh, I want
Yeah,
to
they
talk to
come
you
with
about
10s.
that.
They come with
I want-
10s, and the necks aren't as big as they are on. As they are.
I want to talk to you
Yeah.
about that. Hey, Papa, good to see you, Papa. And hey, Quentin. Yeah, so you've got a couple of those PC ones, Chad?
Yeah, I have the with the maple top, the quilted maple tops.
nice.
But they came with 10s, and then I switched them out to 9s because I like 9s better on it. But the Sustainer, they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun to play
Yeah.
with. I have a blue one and kind of an amber one.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a lot of guitars, and you're a player. You just mentioned I like Locking Nuts and I like Floyd's and so how do you decide what guitar you're going to buy, and what's some of the what's your process for going through as to choosing your next guitar?
I mean, anymore, it's again, we kind of talked about before the show what I'm into lately and what I'm playing lately. And a lot of that has to do with that. I have filters set up on Reverb for EVH USAs, Ibanez Universe, different things that I kind of like to collect and look for. So I might be looking for a Wolfgang, but something else might pop up that I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that one.
Mhm.
But I'm a child of the 80s. That's why I played guitar. I mean, I hit my time to start playing was like an 84 to and on, 85 on. All those guitar players there going forward. I idolized them. I was hoping someday, I didn't think this would ever happen because, I have a problem. My wife thinks I do at least. But I've gone a little off the rails, obviously. But at the same time, it's like these are guitars that I've always wanted and then some, and I've been very lucky to find a lot of this stuff with the help of people like Dave, some other friends that have helped me out. But yeah, there's really no rhyme or reason. I have things I'm looking for, and if they pop up, great. Like right now, I'm looking for a couple USA Wolfgangs that are hard to find. But yeah, just depends what pops up. I'm looking for the black, all gloss black one with a maple neck.
Okay.
And then I'm looking for the black cherry with a maple neck as well.
I know.
So if anybody knows,
I know you want a black cherry just to round out the set, but that color really is not good. It's so dark you can't see it. Almost
I know
black.
a lot of the ones I've seen, people take pictures with the flash, so it looks brighter. And I'm aware that you know how people do on Reverb, they make them a lot brighter when they're not, and things like that. So I know the color, but yeah, it's the one I've wanted. So we'll see if the right one would happen to come along. But
That's
and
cool.
of course, I'm trying to complete my Ernie Ball collection with Dave knows, there's one I can't seem to find. That there's only 6 of them in the world, and that's going to be a tough one to find. Solid black.
Bob Barkus.
Go ahead, Dave.
Bob Barkus, thank you so much for the compliment. He says, Dave, I've always been a fan of your playing. That's really nice of you. Thank you.
And Bob, yes, Dave. There you go.
Yeah, Bob, we, myself and Ty, well, Ty owns, I believe, a few Luke 3s, and I had 2 of them myself. I sold both of mine, but they are amazing guitars. Ty will tell you.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of that series of the Luke Ernie Ball. I think that they're really versatile guitars that play extremely well. They're really fast.
What's the neck like on that?
It's like it's like a soft V, which is how they officially describe that neck.
Okay.
To me, and we're all going to have. Somebody made the point earlier. I think it was Craig. Was like, isn't it interesting that we can use so much of the same stuff? We all have different ears and a different way of describing all of this stuff. And he's absolutely right. They had described it as a soft V. It doesn't feel like a V in my hand at all. It feels like it feels like I've got something substantial in my hand, not as substantial as this, but I like the unfinished neck version of that guitar because there's a few of them that they've made that have a finish on the back, even the satin, like the Tumescent guitar was a satin finish neck. And I think the new Gasoline that they're doing is a satin neck, but I like the unfinished Luke. They have like lower, they have like wide frets on them. Is that Dave could probably get more technical with it, but
yeah,
that actually took a little getting used to for me because I grip the thing, and when I first got the guitar, I'm wringing its neck, and those frets are not pushing back on me very well, and that took some getting used to. But once you learn how to play that particular guitar, that guitar just works for you. It really does. They sound great. They stay in tune. I always set the bridge floating so I could get a step and a half on a pull on a G string.
Just like Luke.
Just like Luke. And I figured, the guitar is designed around his playing style. Why not set the guitar up like he plays it? And
when you say wider though, like they're not taller necessarily. They're actually wider.
They're not tall. Like if you're gonna, they're not tall.
They're like medium jumbos, but maybe not even as tall as medium jumbos.
But medium jumbo after a couple fret jumps.
Yeah.
But if you think about how he gets around on the guitar, that fret makes perfect sense for that playing style. I can't say enough good things about the guitar, and alder body. The more traditional Luke setup is an alder body, maple neck, rosewood board, which is just a great combination for a really, really versatile guitar. I'm a fan of EMG pickups because the first guitar I ever got with EMG pickups was a Luke. And
now that Luke, that first iteration, the first generation, that blue one with the Floyd on it,
first and second had EMGs.
That should have a V-neck on it. And then I think the first version with a non-locking bridge had a V-neck on it, and then they went to a more rounded neck.
Yeah, great. They're great feeling guitars. What's your favorite Music Man that you have?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned you had a few.
Yeah, the only Music Mans I have now are the EVHs, and I have the JP16.
Cool.
I could grab it, but but I'd say right now my favorite is lately I've been playing the JP16 a lot. The stainless steel frets on that, it feels incredible. But of course, I'm partial back here to my EVHs as well because of what they are and what they mean to me. But right now it's the JP16 for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I love that guitar too.
It could have been the Majesty, but we talked about that.
Well, so you've had more. You've had a Majesty, and you've had more than one.
I had 5. So call me a glutton for punishment. I kept trying to. I had 4 6s and 1 7,
Okay.
and I tried different things with all of them. Not maybe every one, but I couldn't get it to stay in tune for more than a couple songs, maybe half hour, 40 minutes of playing. I just can't. I don't understand why somebody would want a guitar that you have to constantly have a tuner on it, and you're always messing with it when you lock it down and you're good to go. I have Ibanez guitars that I haven't played in probably 6 months, and I guarantee I'm going to go strum and it's going to be in tune.
Huh.
And I understand the draw. People like, I know, was it Bozique or somebody was talking in the chat about their tone robbers and things like that, and I get it. But when you're playing on the red channel through a 5153, you're going to be okay.
You're not really listening for the wood at that point.
Yeah,
It's not about the wood at that point.
No,
You're not going to be okay. Actually,
Well,
you mentioned that you had some issues with tuning stability. Hey, Mayhem, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Mayhem.
Hey, Daniel.
what's going on, guys?
Hey, Daniel.
Hey, Terry, good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. But what did you think of the playing experience when you first picked up that guitar? Because that guitar really pushes the boundaries of what we think we know about guitars.
it does, and it's one of those guitars that I know a lot of people had the same reaction when they saw the Pia, where it's like, what the hell did they do to the Pia or the Ibanez Gem? But this is a little bit more extreme, right? They went from the JP16, and all of a sudden it's not a Strat body anymore. I always say it looks like something out of Dr. Seuss. That's what it looks like to me. The guitar looks like
It's
somebody in Dr.
caricature.
Seuss.
It's a
Yes.
caricature of a guitar.
Yeah, just the way it's laid out. But when I played it for the first time, I played it at a music store near me. And when you put it on your lap and you set it there, and it's just the balance and the feel when you put your arm on it and you start, putting your hand on the neck, it feels really good. And that's one of the reasons I really wanted to try to make something work without a locking nut, because I really enjoy playing that guitar a lot. It has piezo pickups. The pickups are in it. I think they're illuminators in it. I think they're illuminators, but the bridge pickup especially, it's so warm, and I was just blown away by the guitar. And it's not something I would normally go after shape wise for sure, but I just wish I could make it work. I'm kind of just done after my experience with it, and I hate to say that because I love music, man.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I've never owned one, but I've played them, and it just makes me feel like a different kind of player. It's a very inspiring. Look, I understand the body shape can be polarizing. You can love it or hate it. It doesn't change how well that freaking guitar felt to me.
know.
I mean, the way it fit here, which
it was
is
easy to play.
I don't wear a guitar here. But it just fit here perfectly.
Yeah.
I was able to get around, and I have a JP15, which is a very nice guitar, but it's not it's very different than the Majesty.
Mm-hmm.
I found the Majesty inspired a lot of creativity, made me feel like I could conquer territory that probably I shouldn't be venturing into. But it made me feel like it empowered me as a player. It really did.
And you probably played a little different, or a little bit maybe out of your comfort zone, or more in it. I don't know. It's like you said, it's very inspiring, creatively.
And we were talking about this before we went on air. The layout of that guitar and the way in which it's laid out this way, the way you would play the guitar, is really. There's a lot of innovation in just the layout of the design. I find it really cool. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say I don't know if you're a Dream Theater fan in general, but they're coming out with an 8-string. He plays an 8-string on the new album.
Yeah, I've heard.
I can barely play a 7-string. I can't imagine an 8-string, but
I would love to own a Majesty. I guess the question I ask myself is, where would I play it? You know, like what
Yeah.
gig would I take that guitar into?
You wouldn't.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Like-
I think I may have missed my opportunity to join a prog band, I guess. I mean,
Like Dave
But-
said, it's really weird if you would play that in a club and you're playing like, I don't know your style necessarily, but like you're playing country music on it or something
Right.
weird.
Wow.
It just doesn't
Wow.
fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it can
Yeah.
do a lot of things. I mean, it can
It
do.
sure
I mean,
can.
if you record and you're comfortable with it, it has a nice sound. It can clean up really well. But yeah, to play that in front of somebody, you almost have to be playing Dream Theater.
It's such a I think the thing that people don't understand about it, you don't understand until you play one, about how versatile the guitar is, right? Because you were talking about the way it sounds with the piezo. I mean, you can get acoustic. You can run the guitar in stereo, guys.
Yes.
I mean, there is
Yes.
so much innovation in
Well,
the
and then
guitar.
It has the mag boost. You can boost the.
It's
yeah.
huge. It's huge.
It's a nice.
It's
nice guitar.
really nice. And you know, we've had a couple of high profile vintage guys on this and I remember we asked both of them that question, Dave. Remember that? We asked them, we said, why haven't some of the newest innovative guitar designs really gained traction with a lot of old school guys like us?
Mhm.
And I thought Eric said it, Eric Ernest that owns Avalon Vintage Guitars, I thought he had a really thoughtful response to that when he said, because our favorite music wasn't recorded with those guitars.
That's very
And
true.
we are still being nostalgic and chasing, you know, the sounds that our guys recorded. You know, we're still chasing the gear that they made those records with. And he's absolutely right.
And that's a great point of why that's perfect, Ty, because I did like Jimmy Page first way back when I was a kid. So you'd think maybe there'd be a little Les Paul in me. But again, Eddie Van Halen, Strat shape, took me to a different level. So maybe,
Yeah.
like you said, maybe that's why I love that Strat style so much.
Yeah.
I never thought about it that way, but
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
Eddie Van
cool.
Halen is probably the single most important guitar player of the 20th century. Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd say he is. I mean,
Him or Les Paul?
Hendrix.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, there's that one guy for every generation,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which is true. You know, the
Exactly.
the generation before us, it was Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
The generation before that, it probably was Les Paul or it
Les
was
Paul. Yeah.
George Harrison or someone. You know, it was someone, one of those older guys. But the single most important guitar player of our century, I believe, is Eddie Van Halen, because it's not just about his guitar playing. It's about the music. It's about the
gear.
inventions. It's the gear. It's what
Yeah.
he did with nothing. He had nothing, and he did so much with nothing.
Yep.
yeah, I mean, he made. I mean, we've all talked about this a million times, but the Frankenstein, that was what, a $50 body and a cheap neck, and he routed out to get to put the humbucker in there to have the Gibson sound in the Strat. I mean, he did it all just with a chisel. I mean,
Right.
we've all talked
Incredible.
about it, but it's just,
Bozic says maybe John Mayer for his generation, but you know, and I'm not saying John Mayer isn't good. He's great. I love John Mayer. He's a hit factory. That guy writes
Yeah.
hit songs, and he's an amazing guitar player. But an innovator? No, he's not. He's just
No.
not.
I thought the
yeah.
next or last innovator was Tom Morello. Unfortunately, nobody could follow that act and we didn't have a generation of people trying to be Tom Morello because they're like, I don't know what he's doing, and they just walk
but
away.
Tom Morello, although he should have been a DJ. Should have been a DJ. I mean, it's
Should have
cool
been,
that he-
but look
well,
at
he
where
is-
music
he is
went.
a DJ.
since then.
He is a DJ with guitars.
Yes.
Right.
And it's cool. I'm not saying it's not cool. It's innovative. It's a thing, but it's not.
Yeah, but I'm
really.
wondering if more guitar players had done that with today's music being largely hip hop based, would we have a hell of a lot more guitar players in bands or quote unquote
Well,
bands?
Satriani did it before Tom Morello. Maybe not with
True.
this toggle switch, but he
Yeah.
scratched on the strings like a scratching record. Way
I mean,
before
I'm
Tom
gonna,
Morello did.
I was
you know,
gonna say,
I,
let's not forget Atomic Punk for that, right? Eddie was the first, really. I went, holy crap, that's Tom Morello.
I like where I think you guys are making some really clever points. I'm glad you mentioned Satriani because somebody asked in the chat about a comparison with the Luke guitar. I find that the Luke guitar and that JS1000 guitar that came out, I don't know, Dave, whenever that came out, I think that those two guitars are very similar.
Oh yeah, two humbuckers and they're with a floating Floyd. They're both
22 frets. I mean, because that's before Joe was pushing 24 fret guitars.
Yeah, it's before.
I think those, and they were in the same materials. I mean, different fret wire, 6105 compared to what Luke's using, but those two guitars are very similar. So if you've ever played one of those early Satch models, then you get an idea of what the Luke feels like. At least in my opinion.
Yeah, I had the Chrome Boy for a minute. But Dave, you have two of them now, right?
Yeah, I have the purple one right there with Sustainiac,
Yep, nice.
And then I have the orange one, and
The
they're
J
both
Special.
They're both fantastic. They're both.
That's a unique item with the Sustainiac and the purple.
Yeah.
Cool.
Plus, Jody had made me the most beautiful strap for that guitar.
I saw that. That's killer.
That's very cool.
Thanks. Oh, Ty, that reminds me. Before the night is out, remind me, like before we say goodnight, remind me, and I'll show you that thing I wanted to send you.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
That's not cryptic at all.
No, Dave's got a. Dave and I were talking, and he's got some he's not using anymore. He's going to send it down here. We'll do that with each other sometimes. Something
cool.
I'm not using, I'll send it. And something he's not using, he'll send it.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I just can't say it because.
Oh yeah,
It's a strap. It's a strap.
Jody Head is our sponsor, one of our sponsors, and it's not one of hers, but it's a beautiful strap anyway.
Gotcha. I gotcha. All good. That's cool. You guys do that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I try to do that with my friends sometimes.
So, Chad, what this is going to be impossible because it's going to depend on the day. I mean, if your wife said you can only keep 5, where do you begin?
I gotta go. Show's over. I don't know. I mean, I'd have to. If I had to keep 5, and that'd be really hard to do. I'd probably try to grab things that you could never find again. So obviously, a lot of the EVH stuff you can find, the newer EVH Wolfgang line stuff. So that would say, but I have a Steinberger GLT2.
Cool.
I'd probably grab that. It's painted up like Ed's. I'd probably grab that. I'd probably grab my gold Ernie Ball EVH solid gold.
You should show that guitar. I don't think a lot of people have seen it.
I'll grab it. But just I try to grab things like that up to 5 apparently, because you want to. I mean, if you ever get rid of things, like sometimes I sold things to get things, and when I sell them, I usually sell things that I could get back if I wanted to normally.
Well, how about Steve Vai's floral guitar?
I have that laying right here.
Vai's actual floral guitar.
So, well, I have it here. I'll let me grab that real quick.
I don't think these people know that you have one of Steve's actual guitars.
Oh, is that right? I'd love to see that.
I kind of helped that happen.
Hang on, I'll be right back.
Not to pat myself on the back, but it's a guitar that I personally couldn't afford, so I called Chad.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I heard Dave talking about it. So, yeah, thank you, Dave, because, yeah, it wouldn't have happened, obviously, if it wasn't for Dave. But so this is a guitar owned by Steve Vai. It's a 1987 gem, which I believe they started these in 1988.
Yeah, it's a prototype, that one.
It's a pre-pro. It has green pickups and pink Vine inlay, which you don't see.
Cool.
This is on the Whitesnake tour with him.
Right now.
What's that?
Oh, cool.
Jay Hannon's drooling somewhere right now. Pink inlay, he's just losing it.
But yeah, this was used on the Whitesnake tour. I think as a backup. I don't know if he ever really played it, but he took it with him.
It was a backup, but he did use it. He did use it on. It was either that guitar or he would use the flame guitar on. Maybe it was either Slide It In or it was one of the songs from the Slide It In record that they did.
Okay.
It's only one song on the whole night that he would use a 6-string guitar, and if the flame guitar wasn't ready to use, that would be that guitar.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I looked all over for him playing this. I could not find it, but I do have a video on YouTube where he's talking about joining Whitesnake, and as they pan around the mothership, his recording studio, this is sitting in a rack behind him with a couple other guitars. And I paused it a million times and looked at the floral pattern. It's the same guitar, so it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah, Dave, like I said, and what's funny, if you can look at the pick guard, see how it's all bubbled up.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the guy that sold it to me, he's like, "Well, you can change that out." I'm like, "Hell no, I'm not going to change that out. That's awesome. This is worn. It plays fine. It plays great." But yeah, very lucky to have it.
That's cool.
Very cool
Man.
guitar.
That's very cool.
I forget about
Yeah.
that guitar a lot of times, but yeah, I remember when my buddy called me about it. He's like, "You want this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want it, but how much is it?" And he's like, "Well," and I said, "Well, I can't do it, but I know someone that will," and that's what happened.
It worked out because obviously, I mean, and it wasn't like crazy money. I don't want to talk about that, but it wasn't ridiculous. It wasn't like
No, it wasn't. It was
He was
for
a
the
really
guitar-
nice guy.
For what the guitar is, it was a very fair price. It was just something I couldn't afford at the time.
Yep. Yep. And Absolute Mayhem. I'm not sure there's one guitar out there that I trade my entire collection for.
The original Frankenstein.
Oh,
Ooh, Ben.
maybe that or the 5150, maybe.
Yeah, I'll see myself out now. Thanks.
So you'd trade all of your guitars for guitar that's unplayable? 5150
What's
is
unplayable, Dave?
The 5150 guitar.
I didn't think it was unplayable. Did he put the neck
He put the original neck back on it.
Oh, because for the 2004 tour he had the
He had a Strat neck on it. Yeah, he put the original neck is back on it with the 7th tuner. Just
And then
to have
was it?
because it's unplayable because when he put the Charvel Strat head neck on it, he had to widen that neck pocket to fit.
Oh, I
that
did
neck.
hear that. That's right. That's right. I don't know, man. That guitar is what changed my life, and I know so many people say that.
Mine
but
too.
I know.
Which guitar, Chad? The 5150 or the Frankie?
The 5150, because again, I know we've all told the story about our own stuff, but mine's much like Van Halen fans. I was into Van Halen when 5150 came out. It was the first album new that I ever bought, and I loved it. But then when Live Without a Neck came out, forget it. It was over. And
Well, that's the first time we saw Van Halen.
Right. Well, for me, for sure, outside of pictures, and
Right.
I fast forward, rewind. Oh, bye, Dave. But yeah,
Dave, press some buttons again.
yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, but that the 5150 was just. I have two 5150s actually that were made for me. That, like I said, that's you all have that one guitar that when you're growing up, you think back and that's what started you playing guitar. And I started striping everything too. Hi, Dave.
Don't you hate it when you just hit the get the hell out of town button?
But let me grab my Music Man here.
That's twice that's happened to me in a week. Fortunately, Ty and Chad were on as well. I was on with Laz the other night. It was just Laz and me, and somehow Laz kicked himself out, and I'm like, "Oh, hello, welcome to Laz's channel."
Right? Yeah. I hate when that happens. But I did get a chance to change my name.
Hey, yeah,
Oh, there you go.
rebranded. Multitasking, folks. Multitasking.
Ooh,
Let me
look
get
at
you.
that.
Let me get you on here. Let me.
So this one, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I thought I muted myself. This is a solid gold, very mint, except for was one tiny mark there, but it's really good condition. Ernie Ball Music Man EVH, the real deal. There's 16 or 17 of these that were made.
26.
Oh, they're 26. Okay, and we know Alice in Chains guitar player had one. Jerry Cantrell.
Yep, Jerry's got one.
I had one.
Oh, did you have one?
I
Did
had
you,
one.
Dave?
Yes, I did. Had one in 1995.
Dang, Dave.
You should have kept that guy.
Well, I sold it for like almost 20 grand back then.
Think what you gonna get for it now.
Well, yeah, you're right.
But yeah, the black one, I think, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, there's like 6 or 7 made of those, and they're
Yes.
very,
Yes.
very rare. So the black, I know I'll probably never have a shot. But really happy to have this. And I wasn't even looking for it. It just fell into my lap. A guy was selling a couple other Van Halen guitars, and he's going through some stuff, and he said, I have some other guitars if you want to see them. I'm interested in selling them. I'm like, okay. And he pulls this out, and I'm like, is that a real gold? And we looked the serial number up and everything, and he's like, yeah, it's the real one. I'm like, I need that. need that.
Good for you. How long ago did you acquire that?
Not long ago. I'd say about 6 months ago, maybe less.
Oh wow.
Maybe.
I want to say it was in the fall sometime, early fall. Yeah, Dave, I think I told Dave when I was going up to get it. The guy lives in Michigan. I live in Ohio, so instead of shipping, we just met halfway,
Sure.
and it worked out really well.
Nice.
Very
Yeah.
nice. You said he had some other Van Halen guitars. Were you able to get anything else from him?
I got something else and ended up selling it. Part of me regrets it, part of me doesn't. It was a custom shop Wolfgang special with 3 single coil, well, 3. I think they're rails, and it had the 3-way switch up here.
Uh-huh.
See,
It looks
that I
like
would've-
the guitar.
Now that I would have taken. I would have taken that.
It looks like the same style guitar he was playing on the Without You video
Yeah, was
Uh-huh.
it white?
from Van Halen 3. It wasn't white. It was Sunburst,
Oh, okay.
a flame Sunburst. It was actually a really pretty guitar, but the single, I know they're not single coils, but the rails just sounded so, I don't know how to explain it. Gritty, like tinty.
Yeah. Well, they are. They're
And I'm just
single
like,
coils.
Mhm.
well, are they single coils? But I thought they were doubles in a single coil
But-
body.
Yeah, but even so, they're
They
stacked
sound thinner.
humbuckers are thinner sounding than regular side by side humbuckers.
Okay. Well, it makes
Guitar.
sense. Yeah, that makes sense. You want me to show you something else?
Yes, please. Although the gold is that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that-
that's a great guitar.
That's
A great
snazzy.
guitar.
So Dave, you had a gold one in '95, huh?
Well, I guess I had it in like '93, and I'll tell you guys the story. I had a friend that worked at Sam Ash, and I had the album cover to Live Right Here Right Now, and in the middle of the jacket is the picture of the 4 guys, and Eddie's holding a gold top like that. So I go to my buddy. I said, I want that. He calls up Sterling, and Sterling said that color's not out yet. But wait a second, we have the one from the photo shoot,
What?
which was
That one?
that one, and well, supposedly that one. I just recently found out that it wasn't that one. It was one from a photo shoot, but not Eddie's guitar. I thought it was, and that's why I was able to sell it for a lot of money back in like '96.
Wow.
But it was still. I mean, the guy who owns it now still has an amazing guitar, even though he made a lot of money for it back then. He can get a lot of money for it now.
Well, it's still rare. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
rare. But
Yeah.
so for a while, thank you, Taylor. Thank you very much for the
Yeah, thank you very much, Taylor.
Cool,
great,
Taylor.
Thank
great
you,
show
Taylor.
tonight. Great show tonight. I'm really enjoying this one. Thank you. Very
Thank you,
much.
Taylor. Good to see you.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you very much.
So it's they're cool guitars, and for a little bit of time, I actually thought I had the one that was on the cover, which it wasn't.
That would be incredible. This one I think I've shown. I don't know if I've ever shown this on your show, Dave, but I'll show it again before I get away from the Van Halen stuff. But this is
Mm.
the Tiger Eye Wolfgang
Wow.
custom shop PV, striped
Yeah.
inlays, straight block inlays.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Now, the only thing that I would do to that guitar to make it different is I would take those Les Paul knobs off,
Right.
Mhm.
gold knobs, and I would get a company named. Hang on a second. I'll tell you.
Man, that's beautiful, Chad.
Give me one
Thank you.
second,
Yes.
guys.
That's sick.
A company named Forney Custom Strat aluminum knobs. You can get these knobs right here, which are aluminum Strat knobs, but you can get them in
Beautiful.
damn it, you can get them in that color gold.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful.
These
That
these
would
are
be cool,
chrome.
dude.
These
You
are
need to-
chrome, and these are going on the you can't see them.
Yeah, we
I was
can
gonna
see
say. I want to see them.
These knobs right here.
Oh, okay.
These are chromed aluminum.
Yeah, that would be
But,
sweet.
you can get them in gold, and these are going to go on the two JS guitars. But you can get them in gold, and to have gold Strat knobs on that guitar would be awesome.
Send me that link if you could.
I will.
Man, that's a
Okay, yeah.
gorgeous guitar.
I'll send you a link directly to the gold knobs after
Yeah,
this, and you can just
please do.
You could just hit buy it now. They're like
Yeah, 'cause I-
$35.
Okay, yeah, I don't love these, but they came with the guitar, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's
But
a
that
great
guitar
guitar,
should have
man.
Fender style knobs on them because that's what they came
Yeah.
with.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And those knobs that are on it right now would look great inside the case for that guitar.
Yes.
That's where they'd go. That's where they'd go.
Exactly. Not to be separated, not to be lost. Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll show you one more.
Good stuff.
That is really cool. That's the kind of guitar that friends don't let me near. Right there, they don't let me near that.
You
So-
can look, Ty, but you can't touch.
Yeah, that gets locked up before I come over.
So this
right.
one, so Dave, you can help me with this one because you probably know more about this than I do. But when Charvel started doing the black and yellow without Eddie's consent,
Yeah,
a lot of these were put out before the
Yeah.
cease and desist came out, and it didn't have a Floyd on it back in the day. It was routed for a Floyd before I got it, so I didn't do it. But it's the old school 82, Dave, 83,
Yeah,
81,
that's,
82.
that's 83, 82 or 83.
But you
22
can tell it's
frets,
been
correct?
played.
22 frets. Yeah, it's probably an 82.
But it's definitely been played, and Dave and I have a mutual friend here where I live near me in Columbus that does a lot of Charvel stuff, and yeah, so I'm really happy. I have two of these actually, one with a pointy headstock and a rosewood neck, something a little bit different, and I have this one as well.
wow.
Yeah, it's a cool
it's kinda
guitar right
different.
there. The only
it
thing
is.
I don't like is the route underneath the Floyd. That's the only thing
Yeah.
I don't like.
I agree. And what's funny is I don't know why you put that, why they did that at all, because they must have set it up as floating at one point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it had a V trim on it, and then they took that off and put a Floyd, and I have it decked. So
What kind of pickups in that guitar, Chad? Do you know?
a good question. Dave, you have any idea? It's probably the original. It's pretty beat up looking.
I mean, you really can't tell. It's
Yeah.
probably some sort of PAF. It's not a super distortion. So it's probably
it's not.
some sort of Duncan PAF.
Yeah, has a coil top.
Hi Eduardo, how you
Eduardo.
doing?
Hey, Eduardo.
Yeah. How do you have that
Yeah.
deck back?
It's leaning way back.
Oh, okay. So why don't you just get a trem stopper
trim stopper.
for it? Yeah.
I could. Plays good now though.
Cool. I love that. How round are the shoulders on that neck?
They're pretty round. It's a very thin. It's a thin neck though. It's like an old school Charvel neck if you're familiar with the old school
Yeah.
Charvels.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's definitely rounded.
You can just take the neck off of my Hot Rod Flames and put it on there. It'd be the same thing.
Yeah, right. That's right. Yep. Yeah, Dave and I have a few old custom shops or custom Charvels. But yeah, it's a nice guitar. And I have a bunch of other Van Halen guitars, but you guys have seen a lot of these, and they're nothing. I don't want to say nothing special. They're special to me, of course.
Sure.
Well, show the
guys-
Frankenstein,
Well, you guys have that.
the real
Caleb
one.
has
Show
it.
the
I don't,
show the
I
real
don't
one.
have the real one. I don't have the real
I
one
thought-
anymore.
Oh, you don't? I thought you bought one.
I actually bought two, but I sold both of them.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. You never
Oh.
told me that.
I'll tell you that story later.
Oh Lord.
It's nothing crazy.
See, I told you he's a flipper, folks. He's a flipper.
He's a ching. Man.
Yeah, that just didn't work out real well. But anyway, it's fine. I actually made out whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, instead I bought the Frankenstein, the made in Mexico one. That
Right.
man, I know everybody talks about the neck, and I'll just reiterate that neck is ridiculous.
It is.
For a Mexican guitar for that amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
It plays killer.
It plays great for a $2,500 guitar.
Yeah, yeah, right. So getting away from the Van Halen thing just for a bit here. I think one of you aren't PRS fans, but that's Dave actually got me into PRS guitars. And this is a PRS custom built for one of their employees.
Mm.
Paul Reed Smith signed the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for an employee there that was at the company and sold it, decided to sell it online and make some money. But it's a gothic green flame.
Oh man.
And it has bat inlays instead of birds.
What?
Look out.
In the back of the neck, I'm not usually a painted neck guy, but if you can see the green in that,
Oh yeah.
Green
That's
flame.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's beautiful.
That's what you refer to as the boner flame.
it's
So that's the first one. That's the first one you got, right?
yeah. So when I was looking at this online, I think I talked to Dave and about what do you know about PRS and will I like it? And I was kind of nervous about buying it because it was a little bit of money and did not ever play a PRS and then spend this kind of money. I was kind of like, I don't know. And Dave said you're gonna love it, and I ended up buying it. And then I bought 3 other PRSs after that,
Wow.
Including
Yeah.
mine.
including your Greenwoods, right? I don't know if you can see that back. Oh, actually, it's not back there. It's behind the Rasta. But yeah, it's a killer guitar, man. It plays so good.
I like it.
But
What
Dave
kind of
told me the
pickups are in
secret.
it?
They're the metal pickups that are in this.
Okay. Yeah.
But Dave told me the secret on these PRS guitars and maybe some other ones, Dave. If you take the little metal piece that's underneath the saddles,
Mm-hmm.
it brings the because it's supposed to be more of a rounded fretboard. They jack up the B through the A string a little
Yeah,
higher.
they radius it. They put a
Yep.
piece of metal under the middle 4 saddles.
Yep, and you put that down. You take that piece of metal out, and it's dead. I mean, this thing plays so good. Really low action, which I love.
Uh-huh.
As low as you can go. So
Uh-huh.
try. But yeah, it's a
Yeah.
cool guitar.
What's the neck profile on that PRS? Is it like a wide thin?
Yeah, they call it pattern thin.
Okay.
But it still has a very nice feel. I love the flame. I kind of wish it was unfinished. This is one of my only guitars that has a finished back. Besides, well, no, I don't have the Majesty anymore. This might be the only guitar outside of the Steinberger that has the carbon or the plastic, the carbon fiber deal.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say plastic.
The plastic guitar I have. But no, it's a great guitar, and I love Dave's. Dave's is also very special. That green, I've still never seen one with a Floyd on it like yours, Dave.
Plus, I had artist pickups in that guitar.
Yeah, my other
Yeah.
2 have metal, and then that one has artist. That
Yeah.
sounds killer.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a good sounding guitar. But
I'm
if
a
I
big
didn't give you
fan
that-
of the I'm a big fan of the PRS Dragons, which they used to make Dragon 1 and Dragon 2s, and I'm not sure, but I even think at one point they put the Dragons in the Modern Eagles at one point. Right, Dave? Didn't they? Early on? Yeah, that's gorgeous. That's nice.
yeah.
Look at that
Green
piece of
on that.
maple.
Yeah, that guitar was. I probably shouldn't have sold that guitar, but if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have my 335.
Yeah, this is a nice guitar.
Look at the
Dave said.
flame on the back of that neck.
Yeah,
It's
the
in the
flame
back
on
and the front.
the front too. Look at the front.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that guitar is on our opening theme.
Yeah.
It is.
But again, it's just these play so nice, and they sound killer. In that 4th position, Dave? That it's the
Strap
not the whole
position.
bridge, but the strat position on
Mhm.
clean,
Yeah,
on clean or dirty, but clean. It's just oh my god, it's beautiful.
yeah. When I had that guitar, that would be the only guitar I would play. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's a great guitar.
He knows how to make a nice guitar.
Yeah, and I mean, if it wasn't for Dave, I think I have how many of your guitars back here, Dave?
Oh, I don't know.
I should just show all your guitars.
You probably have a dozen of my guitars.
Yeah, the ESP is also one of my favorite. I just got done playing that ESP a few days ago.
I thought you sold it. I'm glad you didn't.
No, I still have the black one, and I still have the snakeskin. The snakeskin is the one I was playing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the snakeskin ESP. That's right. The 15-pound guitar.
Yeah.
That guitar
Well, at
was
least
so
you know where
nice.
they are, Dave. So if you ever want to revisit old friends, you know where they are,
Yeah.
where they're residing.
Just a short drive away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not short.
Yeah, and I just have two more. Like I said, I can show you some other stuff if you want to see it. But this one is a Charvel.
Koa?
It's a Tasmanian Blackwood
Okay.
Charvel custom shop. It's
Sweet.
It's number from the Music Zoo when they did a run. This is number 2 of 5. They only made 5 of these.
Oh,
That's
wow.
pretty cool. I've never
It's
seen
heavy
that.
as hell. The heavy guitar.
How's it sound?
It sounds very. I hate to say big, but it just sounds bassy. I guess has a lot of bass in it.
It's dark.
Yeah, it's a lot darker than a lot of my other guitars.
What kind of pickups are in it?
There are 2 Seymour Duncan. What is in this? I'm trying to remember what these are. I'd have to look it up. But it screams. But it's just it's darker sounding for sure.
That's a great looking guitar. What's the fretboard?
That's ebony.
Yeah.
Ebony?
Yep.
Wow.
But a lot of bird's eye in that too, which is nice.
Sure it is. And so is that baked?
Yeah, it's roasted actually.
Yeah, roasted. Yeah.
Yep. But it's a killer guitar. I saw this and I was in my Charvel phase, which I'm still kind of in. If a nice one comes up. But yeah, the Music Zoo does such a good job with their stuff, and I know the Music Zoo. I don't know if they have a contract with Charvel or how they do that. Dave, you might know, but they put out a lot of Charvels
Yeah, well,
that are licensed through them.
If it wasn't for Tommy from the Music Zoo, the owner of the Music Zoo, Charvel wouldn't be doing that the Nitro series with those necks, because the necks were made from 2 of Tommy's necks, Tommy's personal. necks.
Oh, that okay? Yeah, I think yes, that sounds right. That is right if you said it. And then just a favorite of mine forever, my Kramer, old school Kramer Hollow Flash
Nice.
Sustainer.
Yeah, that's a great
fun-
guitar.
A fun guitar.
That's cool.
Yeah, I love it just looks so freaking awesome.
I
The
love
first
it
time I think
because Andy Timmons has one of those. I love it.
Yeah, he's
First-
the only other one I've ever seen with one.
Yeah, the first time I ever saw it, Danger. I didn't know who Andy Timmons was at the moment. I'm like, that guitar is sweet. And then, I think I've seen videos of him playing it. Not recently, but there's a video of him playing this online.
Recently,
Yeah,
yes.
which is pretty cool. So, yeah, Bozzy, that's true. He probably does own Andy Timmons' guitar, Mancuda.
He owns one of the only one that has a red back. It's the only Hollow Flash with a red back.
Right.
And that was Andy's guitar. He saw it. Andy used it on some Danger tour and then bought it from him. And he also has the Fred Flintstone Sustainer as well.
Oh, that's right. I remember seeing the Fred Flintstone one, but and then there's the GL2T, the 80. I think this is an 85 actually, but the same guitar.
So what EMGs are in that guitar?
It's an 85 and an 81, I believe.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So 85
Yeah,
in the neck and an 81 in the bridge.
That's
Right.
how Eddie's was, yeah.
That's right. This one has a good story, but I can tell you guys off the air. But it's probably if you've heard Rob Johnson's story, you've heard this story.
Well, Rob hasn't told his story on air.
Well, I'm not going to either. But
Yeah.
after, if we're in the green room afterwards, you guys care to
Mhm.
hear, I can tell you the story
Yeah.
on this. But
Sure.
it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Has
Yeah,
that
good.
kickstand, but it's not the most comfortable guitar to play for sure.
That's for
You
sure.
know, I owned one for a minute, and it was cool to play
Get up in summer nights.
Get up.
summer nights for a second, and then it's
Yeah.
like, all right, I'd play it for 5 minutes a week maybe. Yeah, it didn't-
Yeah.
and I sold it for a lot of money. Bought stuff
Oh,
that I
yeah.
use.
You can get a lot of money for these right now, especially, whatever it is, you can get a lot of money, but obviously the paint job helps right now with everything going on. But
Hey Vince, how are you?
this is one of those
Hey,
guitars
Ben.
that'd be really hard to find again for a good price.
Yeah, for sure. So, what do you think about those pickups?
I like them. So back in the day when I was a kid,
Mhm.
and Winger came out, and I saw Red Beach playing at EMGs,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, and I didn't even know what the difference between passive and, I didn't know any of that. I just like the all black EMG looked cool. Red Beach is playing. He's a badass guitar player.
Yes, he is.
So I put him in my Kramer. I had a Kramer American back then, and I put one in the bridge, and I loved it. I thought it sounds just big and heavy, and that's what I liked back then. I think in certain guitars I like them more than others. I do have them in this guitar. Obviously, I have them. I still have them on my old Kramer, and I have a couple other guitars. I have a Red Beach Sur, and they're in that one as well. But to answer your question, I guess I'm not answering it. I think it just depends on the guitar. But in the guitars I have them in, I had no problem with them. I think they're nice pickups. I think they get a bad rap because nobody wants to have a active pickup anymore. Everybody's going for passive pickups, which is fine. I mean,
It's fine. It
Makes the
doesn't
world
change the
go.
fact. I say this all the time. It doesn't change the fact that they still sound great.
Mhm.
And there is a hi-fi quality to those pickups that are extremely unique to
Oh, yeah.
those pickups.
Yep. And especially in this guitar, because of what it's made out of and everything, even through my 5150 on the Red Channel, it sounds a lot different than anything else I own because of my plastic guitar, Dave.
That's not wood.
It's not wood, right? Right. It's very interesting. But I had a full body. I had the G3, the 3LT or 3MT,
Empty.
and it was nicer to play because it felt like a real guitar, and you could rest your elbow on something up
Right.
here. But it still just didn't. I don't know. They're weird to play. Like Dave said, I usually start off playing Summer Nights, and then I try to be creative and create some new song, and then I'm like, well, let me grab a real guitar, a real feeling guitar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this was more nostalgic for me because of Live Without a Net. The 5150 and this guitar were the ones that when I saw him bring this out on Summer Nights, that blew my mind as a kid because I'm like, what's that little box guitar?
Yeah.
So I had a $100 guitar that my dad bought me way back when. It was called a Memphis,
Yep.
Right.
and it looked like Eddie's Destroyer almost, that shape.
Yeah.
And I ended up like a dumbass cutting it here and here right behind the bridge because I wanted a little box guitar. So I cut my Memphis and like made it a little box and painted it black. I didn't even stripe it. And my buddy's like, "What the hell are you doing?" So, but anyway, that's my stupid story of when I was a kid. But
That's an awesome story.
I'll try to be like our heroes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're still
stuff,
tinkering. I mean, we're changing everything. We get these guitars, and I always have so much admiration for those guys that are like, well, if I like the guitar, I buy it, and I don't change a thing because I liked it. If there's something about it I didn't like or that I want to change right away, I just don't get that guitar. I always have so much admiration for those guys because there's always something that I want to change right away. Always. I don't know why.
Yeah, I probably lean on the other side of that. I probably lean on the more 90%. I don't change a lot. Normally.
Yeah, I usually don't either. It's got to be a real good reason for me to change stuff.
I guess pickups might be the only thing that I've changed on a few guitars, but that's been a while now. And if I could solder and learn to solder like anybody else can, I'd save some money on taking my guitars to have soldered. I'm terrible at
You'd
soldering.
be buying more guitars with the money you save doing that.
You're right. My buddy said a friend of mine said apparently you haven't bought any new guitars because you haven't seen me to solder anything up. I'm like, no, I just haven't needed your help in soldering anything because I haven't changed anything out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, changing pickups is. I'm always looking for that next great pickup. Changing pickups is something I do a lot of. I want to try it all. I want to try them all. You know, I mean.
Well, listening to you guys talk on Wednesdays and other shows I watch and talk and listen about pickups in the wood, because there was a point in time where I didn't believe wood did much, and as I got older, and I realized not playing on the red channel on the 5150 and playing through a normal amp, or not normal, but like a Fender, and just listening to the guitar and plugging different guitars in. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, I mean, you can really hear it. And you can really hear the neck difference, too, like we were talking about before the show.
Mm-hmm.
Maple versus rosewood.
If you don't plug into any amp and you strum the guitars, you really hear the wood.
Yes. That's even better. That's actually a better idea.
When I buy a guitar, I never plug it in. I strum it acoustically.
Yeah.
Because you can always make a guitar sound good through an amplifier.
It's true. Pedals and amps. Uh-oh. Dave.
Dave froze.
Am I frozen?
Yeah.
You're frozen, yeah. Oh,
you're not. There you go.
Did you hear what I said?
You can make a guitar sound good through any amplifier?
Yeah, I said if it doesn't sound good acoustically, it's not a good guitar.
Right.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, but
I agree. But I'll still bring it home and want to change something. I feel like I have to change something in order for it to be mine.
Just put strap locks on it, Ty. That's all you have to do. Just throw some strap locks on it.
Sometimes it's as simple as that.
Change the knob, like Dave's going to have me do to the.
Sometimes it may be as simple as that, but it never stops there for me. I've got to do something else. I don't know why. I think
I usually leave guitars pretty much alone when I get them, and then as soon as something starts to show the early signs of failure, then I'm looking at not only replacing but upgrading or changing at that point.
You know what else I do all the time too is I like redo pedal boards. Like, this pedal board is fantastic. Let's mess it up.
Let's redo it.
Sure. I don't know. I don't know why I have to feel like I need to do that kind of thing, but I do to do that.
Speaking of that, I was kind of inspired by Dave showed his pedal board not too long ago, and I think I think both of you guys, maybe all you guys have in the past, but I bought a couple new pedals. I don't know if I can show you my pedal board, but I bought that micro pitch Eventide pedal.
Oh yeah.
How is it?
And so I'm watching a lot of videos because I bought it for one reason.
Yeah, sure.
To get that balanced sound.
Yeah.
And it sounds good, but I also have the Harmonist PS6, which I've been running forever. And I think that has it gives it a wider sound to me. I'm still working with the Eventide because it's fairly new still. But the one thing I do like about that pedal is it has a dual delay on it as well, which is really cool. So you can, for clean, you put the pitch shift on and you have that dual delay, and it's talk about like inspiring creativity and things like that. It's really beautiful sounding. But I'm kind of going back and forth between the Harmonist and the Eventide right now. It's not blowing me away, but it's sticking around on my pedal board for a little bit longer at least.
Well, that Eventide pedal's supposed to be the next cat's meow.
Yeah, I know.
I like the Eventide gear a lot. I've been an Eventide user for a long time.
Yeah,
long time.
Do you have?
And I've got a little board right now that I use where I've got an H9 on it.
Okay.
I've got a bigger board with a time factor on it, which is my all-time favorite delay. And then I've got a little tiny board that I'm building right now I'm using something real simple, like, just an Echoplex in front of an amp. We all know why. I mean, we all know where that idea came from.
Right.
But
are you building all these different boards for like different gigs? or why do you have three boards?
Yeah, different things. Yeah,
Okay.
different things that I may do.
I got you.
But I mean, I've got that band on Ben's T-shirt. I've got an H9 on that board because like he uses those types of effects sparingly, but they make appearances. I mean, there's a Paradise City.
Oh yeah.
You need a delay and a chorus, right?
Yeah.
But for jungle, you need a different type of delay, and I like to run a DD3 in front of an amp for that delay. And
absolutely. Isn't that what he's using? He's using a DD3 on that, isn't he?
I don't know. I think he's using. I might get this wrong. So somebody out there is going to have to correct me. I think he's using one of those new Boss DD500s right now. Like I think he's using a couple of them in the rack. I think that's what the unit's called. I don't know. I've always had a lot of success in being able to. It's kind of like anything. Once you get used to whatever it is you get used to, you tend to gravitate toward that. So the Eventide stuff, there's a lot going on with Eventide, but once you begin learning that kind of thing, it's hard to get away from. And I've tried some other pedals that sound great and everything, but at the end of the day, it's not what I know. So I just tend to gravitate back to what I know.
I love my my Strymon Timeline.
Well, I know it's a great sounding pedal. I've tried it. It's great.
Yeah, it really works for me.
Yeah,
It doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah,
it's great. All the Strymon stuff is fantastic. It sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds huge.
It is huge. It's a huge pedal.
Yeah, well, they all are. I mean,
I know.
I love all this small footprint stuff because, it's
what fits on your pedal board?
And Jay were having this conversation earlier today. I mean, when we got to carry all this stuff around. I mean, so the easier and the simpler we can make it. I mean, I got pretty excited over that Friedman BE Mini.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
someone brought that up earlier. Someone brought that up.
I probably have that amp covered in my amp collection. I've got lots of things that say Friedman, so I probably got that covered. But that'll be something else that makes an appearance here.
Yeah.
I know.
Hey, the wife will love it.
Do you guys mind if I show you? I'm so happy that my thumb is just about healed that I can start using a guitar pick. You guys mind if I show you what's left on my thumb that needs to heal?
This is why I came.
It's not gross or anything. It's just I'm so excited because it is the tiniest little thing. Let me do this real quick.
Everybody show your thumb.
It's so
it's looking
small.
better.
It is so small.
Yep.
Pretty crazy, right?
Nice.
That just has to close, and I can start playing like a normal human being again.
That's good, Dave. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations.
Terry
says that he tried a Strymon chorus that his friend had, but it just wasn't for him. So I mean that's why they make so many different, so that we can try them all. Ben, you do a good job of showing differences of all of those things in your videos, and
I try.
The thing I appreciate about your demos, and I've told you this privately, the thing I really appreciate about your demos, Ben, is you approach it from a gigging musician's viewpoint. I mean, this is how it can be used. This is what you can get out of it. And I appreciate that approach.
And one of those things I point out is if it's not a pedal's not well laid out and easy to read, that's a big detriment. Because you're never in a well-lit area if you got to make it.
That's very true. Daniel Greco wants to know what your settings are on the micro pitch.
So that's what I was pulling it up for him. Right now, if you can see that, I have pitch A and pitch B pretty much right like at 12 o'clock. And in the mix, I have it about 12 o'clock as well. I have the depth and the rate and the totally off. Can you see?
You have the whole phone off.
I know. And then I have the pitch mix right in 12 o'clock as well. Nothing crazy right now. I've been trying to watch a lot of different videos to get. There's a few people out there trying to do the balance sound, and I don't know. Like I said, the Harmonist PS6 does it so well.
Now,
It
Chad,
just-
are you splitting that and sending it to two different
Nah.
power sources?
No, I only have 1 amp, so it's going to 1 amp. I wish I mean, I could have another amp. I just
You can have that whole big thing behind me. That whole. Why don't you
I
come
don't.
and get it? Come
I have
get it.
nowhere. I have
Come-
nowhere to put it, man.
Yeah, you do. Get rid of some guitars and go buy that amp. Buy my
don't-
rig.
I don't play out, so it'd be
Doesn't-
really
you
weird
don't
if I
have-
had that amp.
You
I
don't
don't
want to
play
play
out.
it with that setup.
I don't
That's
play
not
out.
a mobile setup.
You don't want to
Have
move.
it.
You don't
That's
want to
true.
move it.
Just come
That's
get
true.
it. Come get it and just get it over with.
Oh, when you say come get it, is that free?
No, nothing.
Oh,
in this,
okay,
Nothing in
okay.
this world is free.
Daniel likes the PS6 too.
Yeah.
I've had some success with some to get in the ballpark of the balance stuff. I've had some success with the Eventide gear.
Yeah, with the H9
And,
and things like that.
Well, with the bigger footprints, mod factor, pitch factor, time factor, the
Okay.
combination of the three.
I just don't like the wall warts that those things use.
No, I mean it can be inconvenient. I have discovered though, even though you can buy connectors that go into power sources that make everything in the pedal board layout much cleaner, I believe that using the appropriate, and I've learned the hard way because I've had to spend money to learn this lesson. I believe that using those accessories that come with the units, critical in the longevity of that unit.
I
encourage guys to find ways to mount,
That's
extensions or multi-plugs under their boards or beside their boards or however they're going to do it, and
I was gonna say,
save
I have,
yourself a lot of money in the long run.
4 120 outlets built into the top of my power supply for my pedal board, so
Yeah.
I run a second power supply off that one power supply for that reason.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I went, well, that just frees up a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's
'Cause I
close.
use my
Mine was
power
close enough to
in
a
my
wall.
pedal board.
So my favorite guitar player to play with when I'm out playing live, he's always got the coolest pedal board. They're always so neat, and he does them himself. I mean, he just spends a lot of time with it. But now he's got been talking about having an extra outlet for add-ons. He's got the coolest, most powerful, robust fan that can plug into an extra outlet on his pedal board, and this thing it feels like an air conditioner,
Right.
and it's directional. I was like, that is genius. I mean, just the innovation in that alone
Sure.
is
I get it.
is genius. Having an extra outlet on your pedal board for the fan, I love it. Love
Yeah,
it.
that's a good idea, especially for the summertime. You're doing an outdoor gig in the summertime, fan is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's been a while since I played out in the summertime, but hopefully that'll all change. Hopefully with not me, but going to see bands this summer. I'm looking forward to it. How's your stuff going, Ty? Plan out?
Not. I'm good right now. Like everything is wound down for me, and I'm okay. I'm okay with that. And but I think that there's a couple of new projects that I've got my fingers crossed that are going to turn out very well, and
Cool.
could be a lot of fun. That could
Good deal.
That could ramp back up. Yeah.
Yeah, my couple friends of mine, the two different bands are starting to get gigs for this summer. I'm looking forward to going out and actually seeing live music again in town, and it's exciting.
Yeah, I'm very encouraged to hear that things are opening back up, and as long as it's done in a really safe and responsible way, that's best for everybody. But I think everybody's ready to kind of get back to normal, and I miss it. I miss live music, and there's a couple of tour dates like that I want to go see. I mean, I want to see that stadium tour.
Yeah.
Ben's favorite band on the front of his T-shirt has added some summer dates, and
Yep.
I definitely want to catch one of those the second week of July.
Are they all back
And-
together?
Everyone been
No.
busy.
Oh, aren't you supposed to catch something else the second week of July?
I'm going to catch that first, and then make my way to a Tuesday
the
show.
tour.
Hopefully, yeah. But it's but yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for it to get back to. I can't wait for it to get back to normal. Yeah.
Daniel, I do have the Black Pia on order, and Sweetwater just called me about that last week. They said it should be here in a couple weeks, but I've heard that before, so I'm not holding my breath because I've seen anywhere from July to October. So we'll see if that pans out for the next couple weeks in May. But I'm not
What color
holding.
did
I
you
haven't.
choose?
I got the black one, the new
Yeah.
black one he came out with. I have the green and the white one now, but I actually had the gold for a minute. But I'm like, you know what? It's not my favorite color, so I sold that and put the money towards the black.
So you have the green and the white Pia model?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you like that compared to your gems?
I got to be honest. I mean, they're very similar. I think the neck is just a little bigger. But I mean, the gem neck to me is one of my favorite necks ever. I love the thinness of it. But I think the Pia is just a little bit bigger. Maybe a little bit more shouldery. But it plays great. I was actually playing the white one a couple of days ago.
Cool guitar for sure. Vince says
Well,
he's
the
got
cool-
the pink one. I
Yeah.
love the pink color.
Vince has an '87 green Loch Ness green gem as well.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Vince predominantly plays. He's a Parker Fly guy.
Oh cool.
Oh, really?
He's got like
that's
I don't
cool.
know, 10 or 15 of them, I guess.
Oh my
Wow,
god.
that's very
Yeah,
cool.
predominantly plays them, and he
Wow.
loves that company. But he's got some really cool other guitars as well.
I'd love to play a Parker Fly.
His Parker Flies are not like the regular off-the-shelf ones. They're like really amazing ones.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember
Daniel,
this came out. Of course,
The answer
We
is
should-
the answer is yes.
We should
Yes.
actually get Vince on the show. Vince, would you like to come on the show at some point?
We'd love to see your fiddles if you want to share them, Vince.
Yeah.
Vince has
Oh,
been
yeah.
a friend of mine almost as long as I know Larry.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd love to
I
love to
met-
meet Vince.
I met Vince through Larry Mitchell, and Vince is again, he's another great guitar player.
Nice.
Cool. Daniel
you
says
see
if
the
any
Parker
of you guys
Flies?
had any of your guitars plecked, and the answer for me is yes.
I've had one.
Yeah.
Like,
This one's plecked.
I don't even know where the closest plecking machine is to me.
This is a
There must be
plecked
one in
guitar.
Toronto somewhere.
oh yeah.
A lot of things have changed on this guitar, actually. This is a pleck guitar. This has bare knuckles Stormy Monday pickups in it. I put the milk bottle Grover tuners on this guitar. It's just it's turned into like a 57 reissue kind of guitar instead of a regular. Wow, that's really in tune. that's really in tune.
Yeah, I noticed that. That sounds nice.
No locking nut too. It's amazing.
Yeah. What a great guitar.
Yeah,
That is a pretty guitar.
that one's plecked as well. Yeah, and
They've been doing it right at the factory for a few years now, haven't they, Ty?
man, that's just right off the. That's not a custom shop or anything. And
No, they
this
do.
is a
Even Gibson
new-
USA, they plaque all their guitars.
This is a new 2021 model. Its birthday on the birthday card was March of this year, and they're doing some things right.
Oh,
They're doing-
actually, Ty, do
they're
you
doing
want to
some
show?
things very
Do you
good.
want to show that guitar? Do you feel comfortable showing that?
Yeah, I'll show it. I mean, it's not a special guitar. It does it
It's right
fails
there.
in comparison to everything Chad's shown tonight.
It doesn't matter. You know,
No,
what you,
no,
you
no,
like,
no.
what- you like what you like.
They're all
This is a USA.
special, man.
This is a USA. This is a Gibson USA. Gibson USA standard out of their standard line. It's got a AAA top.
That's a nice top.
It is not a signature model guitar, but it belongs to that guy
Oh,
right there. And
it's not
and
a
look,
signature
this-
model, but yet it has his.
It's not. They've added this to the way I understand it. They've added this to the core line. This is a standard. So his guitar is now you can get it outside of the custom shop in a standard form,
which is good.
Production model.
What I love is that's got an ABR1 on it, not a Nashville bridge.
Yeah,
Beautiful
that's
ABR1.
different. It comes with a set of custom pickups that they wound, I guess, to emulate the Duncan version of this. They're called slash buckers.
Okay.
So in typical Thai fashion, I got it and put Duncans in it. So
Of course you did.
well, look, I mean, I've been playing these Duncans for a long time, and I love them, and I like the sound of them. So they went in here.
You're familiar with them. That's.
They went in here. They went in here, and I really like this guitar, and I bought it for a very, very specific gig. Doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out which gig I bought this for, and
Tribute
for a tribute gig, and it's fantastic. It is, and I'm no stranger to Les Pauls, and I know we got a lot of Les Paul guys in here. I know Dwight's got a bunch of Les Pauls. This 2021 model, guys, it rivals. I was telling Dave as soon as I got it, took it out of the box, it rivals the custom shops I have. It sounds good. It plays good. It isn't heavy. They're doing some really cool things at Gibson right now. And this is a really, really good guitar. It's set up half step down, 11 to 48. Great guitar. Great guitar. Nothing special. It's right off the rack.
Bozique said he's likely going to get the Epiphone version in July. Bozique, I hate to be devil's advocate, but I'm going to. Why wouldn't you want to save a little bit more money? Well, maybe not a little bit more, but save more money and buy the real deal. Buy a Gibson. Why would you want to just buy the Epiphone? I'm not saying the Epiphone's a bad guitar, but if you're saying you're likely going to buy it, why don't you just save a little more money and buy the Gibson?
I think that they're making significant improvements. And I said this publicly, and I said this on a show with Dave last year. There was an article that was written by Guitar World about these 10 best guitars for gigging musicians, I think is something of that effect. And there was an Epiphone custom on that list. Mm-hmm. And my goal was to set out and play each of the guitars that were listed in that article, find them, and I think I got all of them but two maybe. And I played that Epiphone custom Les Paul, and I said on the show, I said I'd play this anywhere. I thought it was good. It sounded good. It looked cool. It had a great. I played a Silver Burst, I think, and I remember the finish was really cool. I liked it. Now I hear that they're making changes with the Epiphone line, that they're improving those and they're bringing those up. I'll be curious to see if they increase the price as a result of that quality initiative with the line.
Just fine tuning things, Ty.
I was impressed.
I was talking to my guy at Epiphone a couple of weeks ago about that, and they're just they had kind of retooled, relaunched along with Gibson essentially a couple of years ago there to raise the bar a bit, and they just keep going at it. And actually, in Epiphone news, Epiphone released today their first U.S. built guitar in a number of decades.
Correct, a Casino,
Wow.
and
Is it a Casino?
No, it's an acoustic.
Oh well, they came out with a Casino a couple weeks ago.
Okay,
American made, and it is beautiful.
Yeah.
What's a
Yes.
Casino?
It's
a Casino is like a 335 with P90s.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Beatles.
That's perfect. Yeah. Okay.
Nothing
Beatles.
you'd be interested in.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I gotta be like, I watch your show. I watch other shows. I learn so much from you guys. It's cool. It's cool. You guys teach me about stuff. About my own guitars. I'm like, oh shit, I think I have something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff I don't know. So I appreciate anything like that. But yeah, that's cool. I'd like to have a guitar with P90s in it, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see them do a P90 Wolfgang. I think that would be insane.
Ed had a P90 Ernie Ball. I'm pretty sure it was an Ernie Ball.
He had a Ernie Ball. He had a Wolfgang too. It was in the.
Did he have a
Without You
Wolfgang?
video. Without You video.
Thank you, Busy.
Yeah.
Terry said Casino and Texans are USA produced. That's cool. I love the casinos. I love them. Of course, I was raised on all those Beatle records, so it's very nostalgic for me.
When I worked at Guitar Center, Epiphone made a master-built Texan, custom shop American Texan that was like, I think it was like 20 grand or something like that. It was a copy of Paul McCartney's exact guitar with the Detroit Red Wings sticker on it, and and I sold like 6 of those guitars.
Wow.
I sold 6 of them.
God,
It was crazy. It was crazy. I actually hand delivered 2 of them, because when you sell a $20,000 guitar, you hand deliver it.
Yeah, that's good customer service.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just never been. I don't care what style of music you play or what kind of guitar you tend to gravitate toward. The guitars that are being built today, or that you have access to today on the used market, and with the ability to outfit it, upgrade it any way you want it to make it your thing, it's never been a better time to find gear. And you can find things that you absolutely love, and then you can find gear that you might want to go and purchase it. Maybe you want to keep it as an heirloom thing, or pass it on to a family member one day. And then you might want to go buy something like this that you can go just beat the tar out of at a gig and feel real good about it. And
That's right. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas. That's very kind. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to hear that, like, from a Gibson standpoint. Go ahead.
Great gear. Listen, we need that brand as guitar people, and I understand that's not for everybody. And I know a lot of people. I got close friends that look at that and call it furniture. That's not the guitar for them, and that's cool. Right. But we need that brand, guys. That brand's important.
I was just going to say, when, like, what was it, last summer when they talked about maybe bankruptcy and this and that. I don't have a Gibson, but at the same time, like Ty just said, we do need that company. I mean, that would be tragic if Gibson was not around anymore.
Exactly. Well, I got to tell you, with the new ownership and the new management, they're really doing amazing.
Man,
I probably never would think that Gibson USA guitar that's not custom shop is an amazing guitar. But they're really coming out with some really amazing Gibson USA guitars.
Yep.
Where you don't have to buy the custom shop guitar these days to have a great guitar.
It's unbelievable. I mean, look, my wife, she asked really smart questions sometimes. She was like, "Okay, so you've got Les Pauls. What's different about them all?" And I've got very specific. I can tell you very specific reasons why this is different than this, even though they're the same finish, and this one's different than this, even though they're made in the same year. Yeah. And she asked me a lot of questions about this one. Obviously, she knew why I was acquiring it, and but asked me a lot of questions, and I was like, golly, I just can't put this thing down. And isn't that what we want out of any guitar we buy, whether we buy a used one from somebody or buy a new one? We want it to make us feel like we can't put it down.
That's right.
And that's like,
be inspired.
Right. And I mean, I collect, obviously, but so I can't, when my wife says, "What's different about that blue Ernie Ball compared to the amber Ernie Ball?" I said, just that. It's the color. But at the same time, none of my guitars are just sit around and don't get played. All of them, I don't care if it's
but
this much money or this much money. It doesn't matter. I play everything.
When it comes to the Ernie Ball guitars.
I'm talking about any guitar, though. I have.
Right.
I play everything.
I understand that. But when it comes to the Ernie Ball guitars, you're collecting them mostly because, I mean, they're worth $1 bazillion. They're just, I dare you to go for all your guitars have all their color still on them. They haven't faded. They are perfect examples of each one. And
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's dead, and that is a great way. If you really wanted to, you could put a really good chunk of money on a house with those guitars.
The thing about it, yeah, and right. I mean, we saw the market go crazy when he passed, unfortunately, because people were going crazy. But I was, I was buying those way before that happened.
Yeah, of course.
And I wasn't just trying to get them because of that. You know what I mean?
No, of course not. They're great guitars.
I just want to make sure people understand I'm not that kind of guy.
No. They're great
Yeah,
guitars.
I'm a huge fan, and that's why I have.
No,
them.
I
That's
think
why
I think
started
you
buying
said
them.
it. I think you said it very well at the beginning that your journey started because that's the guitar that influenced you, that kickstarted this whole thing for you. I mean, that's legit.
Yeah, and I had my first good guitar I had a 1991, 91, 92, a red Ernie Ball Music Man. I bought it for like $1,200 from a guy locally here at a local store. Took it home, and that was a lot of money when I was a kid. I mean, I had maxed out my credit card. Got in trouble for buying it from my parents. But anyway, I bought it, and then I had to sell it. And so I just knew one day, I'm like, I hope I have a chance to have another Ernie Ball because I just love the way it felt.
Yeah, now go pick it. Now go pick the one you want.
Yeah.
And it's not. Yeah, it's nice to have. It's just. Yeah, I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful.
So you're missing the black one, and you're missing a Sunburst, correct? Oh, you got
Just
the
the
Sunburst.
just the black. Yeah.
Oh, so you have every color but black.
Yeah.
Man, good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, congratulations. Guitar Man 45, he's reiterating everything we're talking about. He said, I bought 4 Les Pauls in the past 6 months. Every one was to production. I mean, I agree. I mean, I was just blown away. Blown away. And I remember when I began gravitating toward PRS guitars, there was a period, a very active live period for me where I was playing live and I was using PRS guitars. And I love PRS guitars. Still like them a lot. Still own many of them. Dave, yeah, still own many of them. And I just remember that feeling that I had when I took a PRS guitar out of the case. It was a single cut, and it looked like my favorite single cut guitar, but it played better, sounded better, was easier to get around on. It was all these things that was better, and now Gibson has at least in the one anecdotal experience I can share, they've satisfied me, with offering.
When I got that PRS, I told Dave. I'm pretty sure I told you, Dave, when I got the green one and it came. I said when I took it out and looked at it, I mean, gorgeous, obviously. But at the same time, when you play it, it just feels solid. It feels like a well-built piece of a musical instrument. You know what I mean? It just plays so nice. And I have Ibanez and Kramer and all that, but it's on a different level. Ernie Balls are like that too to me.
Me too. I feel the same way about Ernie Ball. I have a very warm spot for Ernie Ball guitars.
Yeah. So do you like the Petrucci Ibanez guitars? The Picasso
never
guitars?
played one. I like the way they look, but I've never played one.
I collected those as well.
My first Ernie Ball experience was much like yours. It was with the EVH Ernie Ball, and then to the Axis. And I remember I had a green Ernie Ball Axis guitar that really was a guitar that I felt like I could do anything on. Like it was just one of those things where I was like, God, there's nothing I can't execute on this guitar technically. This was it. That's the one for me that got away. I've mentioned that guitar before. That's the guitar should not have let go. But Ernie Ball guitars, there's a consistency built into that brand, and then I gravitated toward Luke's, and it was game over for me where I felt like I found it. But with all the Petrucci guitars that were being made, I was like, golly, what don't I know? So I had to get one. I had to get one, and I had to try it. And it was like, what don't I know about this guitar?
Yeah, I've only played his Ibanez brand, and the JP16 and the Majesty. But but like we talked about before, the JP16, I love that guitar. The way it feels is just awesome.
It's a good one.
That's it,
You know, that body shape is it's an ergonomic guitar. I mean, it's not as ergonomic, say, as the Majesty, but it's it's a Ferrari. I mean, that
it
guitar,
feels good.
It's built to do something, and it does.
Well, that has my 6-string has a roasted Bird's Eye, and my 7 has a roasted Flame, and it just happened to be that way. I didn't pick it like that, but they're beautiful looking guitars.
Nice.
It's so funny. It's so funny that two of you absolutely love that guitar, and I'm not a fan.
Dave, all right, hang on. I'm going to be right back.
I wish you'd play it. I wish you'd play it.
It's right over here. It's 2 rooms away. Hang on just a minute. I'll be right back.
Have you played any of Petrucci's, Dave?
Yes, I don't. Well, first of all, I'm not a fan of John Petrucci.
I know. You said that before. I understand that. A lot of people aren't.
I like his beard.
So I don't like his guitars. And as far as Music Man guitars, for me, they're too small, so I can't enjoy them.
That's true. They are a smaller guitar normally.
I mean, I have a Van Halen, an Amber, that I love, but it's like a toy. I can't do much with it.
Yeah, no, I understand. Hold on, I'll grab since Ty's grabbing his.
Well, why don't we grab ours?
Apparently I misplaced my Petrucci stuff tonight, Dave.
Listen, this is like so far out of my sweet spot that's why it's so fun, you know.
That sounds like me with my Kramer.
Yeah, it's so far away from what I normally do. That's why it is so fun. But so we were talking earlier, and I mentioned that I had a JP15. So this is my JP15.
Oh,
but
wow, look at that top.
Look at the top, man.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I mean, that is, but this is my favorite part of the guitar right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is that ridiculous? Or
You got
what?
a great one.
Oh,
You got a great one.
And it's on the front. You know, it's a little dirty, but
that looks killer, man.
isn't it cool? This is a cool ride right here. The piezo pickup selector gets in my way a little bit, but you adapt. 20 dB boost, a tap on the neck pickup, and then a piezo volume.
So that's weird. That's interesting. Go ahead. Yeah.
Check it. Mono stereo outputs.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Swiss Army knife guitar. But all right, so all you shred guys out there, check this neck profile out. Look guys, look how thin the neck is. I mean, you can fly around on this thing.
Yeah, that's nice.
You can lose that neck between the seat cushions.
Man, this guitar, this guitar, there's a lot of giddy up in it.
So what's funny about that, Ty, is that's the 15.
Yeah.
I have the 16, and the funny thing about that is yours is more ergonomic than mine, because on the 16 they kind of dumbed it down. They just have the 3-way switch, the boost, and then they have the stereo thing here where you can go on and off stereo.
Oh yeah, because you've got a single input on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but then they have, this is the one with the Floyd. So, but I don't know why they got rid of the piezo and all that for this.
Do you have? But you've got the old school armrest right there, like from the JP6.
Yeah.
On the top of that guitar, where you put your
check out
forearm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's
but check out the neck.
Yeah.
I mean, and then this is the flamed one.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
And my 7 has the Bird's Eye. But here's the.
Oh wow!
This is the JP. I believe this is the 1.
That's the one that started it all, right there, right?
Right, and then they have the 1 through 4, and then they have the ham version, the anniversary model. That's.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Let me see. 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 Let kind of flamed out, but it has the different colors for all the faces. But this is I only have. I got really lucky with these. These are a lot more prevalent overseas. And I hate buying stuff overseas and having it shipped, but I couldn't find them anywhere else. And these came really packed well, and there's not a mark on this thing.
Man, that's gorgeous. So why? So that's the model that inspired the JP6. So why the move from Ibanez to Music Man? I don't know the story.
I don't know the story.
I would imagine that, and I don't know this to be true, but I would imagine they weren't doing enough for him. I mean, look at what they're doing for him at Music Man. He has how many models of guitars? You know, and Ibanez probably was like, dude, you're not Steve Vai, you're not Satriani. You know, we're not making you all these guitars. That's probably what happened.
The other thing, I'm glad you mentioned that, because you know, Vai, what's the radius on a gem? 17?
17.
16? 17? 17. These guitars are really flat, and there's a reason. I wonder what the radius on Chad's Ibanez's are. Are they 17 on the Petrucci Ibanez's?
I'd have to look it up. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they've got to be. I mean, it's an RG, so yeah, it's probably a 16 actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, is that an anniversary? What is that?
This is the they call it the 10th anniversary or 90th anniversary of the what is it called, the Hiroshima, or the I'm trying to think of the where it's made, but they made ham version. Like Steve Vai has a 90th anniversary gem.
Yeah, of course, it's metal.
Right.
I always loved that graphic right there. It reminded me
It's just killer.
I don't know. It always reminded me of the Division Bell graphic, you know, from the Pink Floyd record, you know. Yeah, that Ibanez is ridiculous, man. I love that.
Yeah, the hardest one for me to find was the P4. I think it's the P4. It's the camo one, and I found that I think in Italy, and I had that shipped over a while back.
Wow.
You must have a bunch of guitars sitting right all around you. How are you going to get up?
Every time I get up, I put one back and I grab another one. I lay them down right here. But I have a whole row of stuff back there. A lot of Charvels. I have gems. So I have what Dave knows. I have the 25th anniversary gems, or 35th anniversary. What anniversary is it? I can't remember.
30th.
30th. Thank you. I have the yellow, green, and white of that. Just various stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Terry, they do 16 and 20s, and there was a JP model. I don't remember if it was the 11 or maybe it was the 12. I don't know. Guys, some of you guys that are into this would know better than me, but they did make a model that had a 20-inch radius. So even flatter than this.
A 20-inch?
20-inch.
Jeez.
And I mean, look, this guitar is a lot of fun. So have you guys ever played in perfect fourth tuning? So you know how we're
played in perfect standard tuning ever, Ty.
So you know how we're E, A, D, G, B, and E, right? Low to high. So you know, everything is tuned here in a perfect fourth until we get to this odd place at the B string, right? So we got to drop it back because that's tuned to a perfect third, right? So in a perfect fourth tuning, not that this is a reason any of you guys showed up tonight, but in perfect fourth tuning, you would take this B string and you would raise it to a C. And as such, you would take your high E string and raise it to an F, right? So you would raise the pitch of these two strings that you normally associate as a B and an E, and you'd raise it a half. Half to
I was going to mention, Tom Quayle.
Yeah.
That's where
well, what that does, yes, Bozique, exactly. Players like Tom do this too. So what that does is it lays the guitar out symmetrically. Okay, so there's basically, I'm going to oversimplify it. It's not quite this simple, but it basically lays the guitar out in symmetrical patterns that are easy to come along with. So, your shape for, say, a G major 7 is the same whether it's a 6-string root, 5th-string root, 4th-string root. You don't have to make that adjustment that you do once you get to that B string that we all know how to make, right? Mm-hmm. So it lays it out quick. So a guitar with a super flat radius like this at 17, I say all that to say this. A guitar with a super flat radius like this with a 17, or even like the 20, is an improviser's dream in, say, a perfect force, because everything is symmetrical. So you want to talk about flying? You can fly. I mean, absolutely fine without having to make these half adjustments for all you three note per string playing, right?
Correct.
Fine for single note playing, but really bad for chords, Quentin says. Quentin, you're right if you're talking about chords in open positions.
Right.
So it'll take away your G, your D, your C, your A minor, but great for chords like this, which is an A major 7 right here. Great for chords like that. So you win some here in that scenario, but you lose some as well. Not for everybody, but a guitar like this, you could see where players like Tom and Alex and so Holdsworth fans, you could see where a lot of players like that would gravitate toward this guitar and play like that.
That's interesting about the perfect,
because the guitar is built for that kind of thing. Really is, even though John doesn't play that way at all. But well, I mean, he could if he wanted to, because he can do anything he wants. I mean, he's pretty superhuman. He's a superhuman player, but
he's ridiculous. Yes.
So anyway, I always have a lot of fun with this guitar in particular by going in a perfect force tuning and
that's a beautiful guitar, man.
So when do you play that guitar, Ty? When you're sitting on your couch?
Yeah, I don't take it anywhere. I have played it live though. I've played it live. Look,
you can play that live.
Oh yeah, I play it live.
You can play a Banana live if you really wanted to.
There's a guitar player in the Zach Brown band that likes JP15s. He plays JP models.
Yeah, of course. Well, Zach Brown band, yeah.
Yeah, you can Google. Yeah, you can get country music. There's country music being played on that guitar.
Well, there's country music being played on a Wolfgang too.
Well, that's true.
Right.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Hey, Taylor Swift's guitar player is endorsed by EVH. Or I guess they don't do endorsements, but
he likes them.
Yeah. Well, he gets guitars for free.
I'm reading some of these comments because I love these comments. Yeah, from Quentin. I think Quentin does make a good point. You will lose. You're not playing AC/DC songs in perfect fourth tuning. I mean, that's not going to happen. No. So Quentin is right about that. But the single note improv, fusion groove type stuff is really good for that. So the answer to your question, Dave, is rarely play. I play the guitar rarely. It is an inspiring instrument. I do like to put it in perfect force and play. And I play it in the living room.
Did you ever take music classes like theory, or did you go to school for music at all?
I had a guitar teacher.
And that's how you learned, from a guitar teacher?
And through application.
Like theory and everything? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you blow me away with all their theory knowledge and stuff when you're talking on these shows sometimes.
Well, yeah. I hope not, because it's only the way. I don't ever want to come across as like maybe a theory nerd kind of thing, because there's tons of guys who lots more than me. But I know what I learned and how that helps me. All right, I'll put it in context. All right, so here's a context. So if I'm playing that Les Paul on a tribute gig, and the end of Paradise City is coming up, that solo, there are some theory things happening in that outro solo.
This is exactly where I heard you talk about this before, was Guns N' Roses. I think you're on Tony's show.
It might have been on Tony's show, right?
Yep.
I think that because there's a couple of cool things in there for rock players that they can take out of that. You got major, minor, pentatonic, which we all know. How to mix in major, minor, pentatonic together, which we might all not know. But if we know some AC/DC solos, we know how to do that.
Right.
We know some GNR solos, we know how to do that. And for all of you that know Van Halen stuff, you know how to do that.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin, too.
Led Zeppelin, major, minor, pentatonic.
You might just not know you know how to do that.
You might not know that you're doing that, right?
Right.
But that cool dissonant thing on the ascending piece of that solo is actually in G Mixolydian, which is a fancy word of saying I'm playing or the way that a guy like me approaches it, I look at that as I'm playing a G minor with a raised third. So it's a major third against a God 7 thing. So to a pentatonic player, that's a major pentatonic with a dominant 7. So it'd be the same type of 7 that you'd find in a minor pentatonic scale. Mm-hmm. That's the way that I look at it. That's probably not what your more that's not what your jazz guys want it. They're not going to speak about it like that. But I'm a rock and roll player, so I look at it from a rock and roll context. I look at "Sweet Child of Mine" from a rock context. That intro is in that 12th position E minor position. But if you know how to play that, you're actually playing D Mixolydian over that chord progression over the chords that are being played under it. You're actually playing D Mixolydian. Yeah. But you may look at that as a pentatonic player as, that's E minor pentatonic.
Yeah, so, it's interesting how different people look at music theory differently. I mean, obviously it's all theory, but at the same time, you all have like the way you look at it, and I look at it, and I know just enough to get me in trouble. I was having this conversation with Jay Hannon earlier today. Actually, we're talking about some stuff,
but Jay doesn't know how to play a D chord.
Well, we were talking about that, and just about how I'm trying to get out of scalar playing, because like I sit down, I'll just run the Dorian mode, then I'll play pentatonic, then I'll play Mixolydian, and I have no sense of like I'm not melodic. I'm just playing through scales. So Jay and I were talking about putting on a backing track, but we're just talking about playing C major over A minor. You know what I mean? If you're playing the minor, did I get that right? You're playing A minor, and you can play C major over that, and it's essentially you just starting somewhere else. So you can use all those different notes in C major. And actually, Jay was talking about that, which totally surprised me. So,
hey, Joshua Jones, how are you?
Hey, Joshua Jones.
Hey, Josh, that's cool. But anyway, it's just interesting, and I know I heard you talking about it on Tony's show, and you were talking about and then he does this Dorian thing. And I'm like, that's so cool to be able to listen to that and know that, which is somewhere I'd like to get with my playing. But
here's
what we're burning.
Look who's lurking. 708.
Jay,
who had a birthday this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just talking about you, Jay.
Yeah. Chad, I look at that like the Dorian type thing. All our heroes are playing a Dorian mode.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't know how they were necessarily approaching it. I approach the Dorian mode as a minor scale with a raised 6, because that raised 6, that major 6, is the magic note for Dorian, right? It's Carlos Santana's note, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's. I look at, like I said with Mixolydian, I look at it with a minor 7. It's a major scale with a minor 7, so it's got a lowered 7th, and that's the way I look at it. As a blues rock based player, the most important things to me are major pentatonic, minor pentatonic, Mixolydian, and Dorian. Yep. And so as a blues based player, that's where I begin. Yeah. And I like
our heroes never knew what like Eddie Van Halen. I don't think he knew what the hell he was playing. It just sounded good.
He played Mixolydian.
He had a piano. He did, but he had a piano background, so he knew something, obviously. But I think on guitar, he did a lot of stuff that he didn't know quite maybe what it was theory wise.
Well,
he liked the sound. He obviously liked the sound of that
And I'll
minor
tell you
7
what.
against that major chord.
I
Oh,
tell
He
you
obviously
what,
liked that sound a lot.
he, just like George Lynch, plays
Oh,
us
yeah.
all for a fool because they know exactly what they're doing.
George even says he has no clue at all what
And
where
they
he's
know-
going to stop and land.
And Lynch, Ty and I
There's
were having this
there's
discussion.
no
earlier.
way that all of those things are happy accidents.
You know,
I know.
There's just no
that's
way.
right. George, there's no way. See, George makes it seem like he's a cat in a tree and he fall out of the tree and landed on his feet.
Yeah,
No way that happens every time. Because
it's like falling down the stairs.
There is not one time that he lands on a bad note. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's just a liar.
Here's what I like about Lynch a lot. If you've watched Lynch play, listen, I love the way he's matured as a player too. I mean, look, he was ferocious as a young player, but I love the way he's matured as a player too. Like I was watching some footage from that Dokken reunion in 16, right? And the way he was improvising some of these parts in these songs, he was creating this mood around solos that we are very familiar with, and he is applying all of this tension and release in here in a different kind of way. I mean, that isn't accidental. That's years of experience of understanding how he is applying these notes that he loves into the way in which he plays. You know, the other thing about we were talking about Slash for a minute, and this is the last thing I'll say about him, and I'll get off of it. I really think that there's a lot of character behind the harmonic minor scale in Slash's playing. Understanding how to use harmonic minor in the context in which he uses it, and it creates dissonant notes. It happens in Sweet Child of Mine. It happens in Rocket Queen. It happens in the outro of Night Train. He creates these things, and those little dissonant notes, you know, you can sit there and go, he's messing around with the harmonic minor, but he's not playing it in a way, say, Yngwie Malmsteen uses the harmonic minor.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody does. Nobody plays it like Malmsteen does. Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the only thing I like what George does now, probably, I mean, let's face it, like you said, he was ferocious and can still be. But I feel like his tone has greatly changed. Like, he almost uses no distortion anymore.
Well, yeah, he's using
it's
old.
really
he's using
weird.
He's using old Marshalls again. He's not using anything hot rodded. He's
But
using.
to hear the Dokken
using
songs like that is just really odd to me.
He's using a Marshall with a Klon, and that's his distortion.
the
He's using a
Klon.
Klon.
Yeah.
And Klons are not high gain. They are low
Right.
gain, or
Right.
actually no gain.
I was going to say, I don't think there's much
like-
gain at all.
No. But you crank a Marshall on 10 with a Klon, and you got some good beefy tone there.
yeah.
It's
Bozzik
weird to
says
hear that.
Paganini plays harmonic minor like Malmsteen, and I know that Paganini was Malmsteen's biggest influence. I mean, Richie Blackmore was his biggest guitar influence. I read Yngwie's book. That's why I claim to know this. But I read the book. He said that Blackmore was his main guitar player, and Paganini was his main guy as a musician.
I don't even know he had a book.
Yeah, it's called Relentless.
Figures.
Is it a fast read? Like, he's a fast guitar player?
That's a Bill Coombs joke.
Very
Ben,
loud.
Chad stole your joke.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that was a bad joke.
How could less be more? More is more.
No, sometimes more is too much.
Guys, do you not think he's in on the joke? Come on.
Of course.
There's no way he's not in on the joke. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's
You
loving
better.
it.
He's living the life of Spinal Tap.
He is in on the joke, guys. There's no way.
Yeah.
He's a smart cat. And look, according to Steve Vai, he is the most according to what Steve Vai wrote in his book, he's the most technically gifted guitar player.
The funniest thing about I saw Yngwie live when I went to Steve Vai's guitar camp a few years ago, and Vai was one of his guests for a night. and he talked about guitar and this and that. But him and Steve played the concert that night, and they played what's the Black? Is it not Black Magic?
Black Star.
Yeah,
Black
they played
Star.
Black Star together, and I have video of Steve and him doing it together. It was killer. I mean, I'm standing, right in front of him. It's great. But the funniest thing about Yngwie is still to this day, he dresses in leather, shirt all the way open, and he has to have a wall of Marshalls behind him, and only like one is on. All the rest are dummy cabinets. We helped
when
them
I
carry,
saw them, they were all on.
we helped them. They helped. We helped them carry them out, and they're all empty. They're all empty.
I had the displeasure of hearing them at Sweetwater, and I'll say that because they had 32 heads. I counted them; they were all on, and Sweetwater was bragging they were all on.
Wow!
And literally, as soon as he hit the opening chord, it was a sea of people walking out of the pavilion with their hands over their ears. Like I had earplugs in, with my hands over my ears. I was like, "This is too loud. Like this is just ridiculous." And it was a very piercing tone.
Well,
he has to have that mystique.
The one thing that Steve did take from Yngwie is the scalloped frets on the whole guitar. Because Steve's main guitars now, all of the frets are scalloped. Only his guitars
are they really?
Yes, all the frets are scalloped on Steve's personal guitars. Yeah.
Huh, that's interesting.
So I like something that Deja Voodoo wrote. He said theory's a roadmap.
That's a great
without
way to put
it. You can still find, great destinations, but you will get lost and forget the cool spots you've already found and how you got there. And
Rick Beato.
He was assigning that to a Rick Beato-ish type of quote. And I agree. That's why I'm always a little hesitant about taking a position and say, well, you need to think about the scale this way or think about it. All I can do is relate to you about, like how I think about it. Like when we Chad and I were just talking about Dorian, I have a way of looking at Dorian that I don't know whether it's right or wrong, but I know that it makes sense to me to think about it this way, because I know that the minor pentatonic is a 1 and a flat 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a minor 7, right? But if I add the major 6, if I add the raised 6, now I'm playing Dorian, because that major 6 is key. And if I want to add the second, which is also the 9th, if I want to add the second, then I'm still playing Dorian, the major second. Then I'm still playing Dorian. So I think about it. I think about it in those ways, but I actually think about it more in a chord context than anything, right? So how is it against the chord that I'm playing? Because
that's all that matters right there.
That's the important part that matters, because that's what happens when you're making music. And I think Deja Voodoo's point is a really good one. Use it to guide you to make something with.
That's why it's good. That's why it's good to understand what Ty is talking about, and apply it using a backing track on YouTube. Play with a Dorian backing track or a mixed Lydian, and then learn these things and learn that scale and theory or mode. But don't be like me, and don't just go up and down the mode. Pick it apart and make it melodic, because I'm trying to get out of that habit now, and it's terrible.
The modal playing too. I get a lot of questions about modal playing, and they're like, "Well, do you ever play like this, or do you ever play like that?" And I tend to think about the modes a couple of ways. I mean, take Locrian off the table because it's its own thing. So we're left with 6, right? I tend to classify them major modes and minor modes, and then on the major side, there's 3 of them: Ionian, Mixo, and Lydian. Okay, there's major, because our 3 determines major minor, right? So I tend to look at them like that. And then the others are the minors, Aeolian, Dorian, Phrygian, which I don't use a ton. And then all of them have unique character, right? And if you've ever watched a jazz guy integrate pentatonic playing, with unique characters that define those specific modes, intervals are what's really important, right? So I believe that the interval players should spend more time thinking about, okay, what interval am I playing? Is this a major second or a minor second?
Mm-hmm.
Is this a major third or a minor third? What's the relationship of this minor second to the 5?
You don't have to hear. You
Yes.
all you have to do is hear it, and you can hear the difference.
Right. And if you pay attention to the interval piece, which ultimately defines the distance between two notes, then you can begin creating music this way. And so theory, you can go as deep into it as you want to, or you can get as basic with it as you want to. And how is it going to help you the most? Only you can decide that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, real quick, Papa Blue has a question. He says, "What's the difference between a Klon pedal and a Dumble drive pedal?" Now, a Klon pedal is not a Dumble pedal. A Klon pedal is a clean boost with a little bit of hair on it, but the mid range is in a very specific spot, and it's only inherent in a Klon pedal. You really can't get that sound out of another pedal. You can get close with some of the clones, but the way the mid range is situated, and I can't explain it. You have to just listen to it. On a Klon pedal, it's very pleasing to the ear. It's so pleasing to the ear, and it's pretty much the only pedal that does that. Now, a Dumble style overdrive pedal it has hair on it. You can have low, medium, or high gain Dumble sounding pedals, but the bass is very tight sounding. It's not a loose sounding amplifier or pedal like a Marshall sounding pedal. It's very tight sounding. So that's the difference right there.
Yep.
Han 36 Solo says, play the chords, don't worry about modes.
That's what I do, Han, because I don't know what the modes are. I know minor and major pentatonic. That's
I like that. I like that. And Ben, there's a lot of secrets behind the pentatonic, and you can play modal with pentatonic shapes. If you're understanding intervals and you know how to apply them. And I like what Han 36 Solo is saying here. If I were going to encourage you to learn anything, learn 5 chords. Learn major 7, minor 7, dominant 7, minor 7, flat 5, and diminished 7. And your money. Your money. You learn those.
I should write that down.
A 6th string and a 5th string root, money. Taylor says Locrian sounds too dissonant for me. Locrian's a tough one for me too. I love listening to Satriani play it though.
I was gonna say Steve Vai and Satriani, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Zeke, I disagree with you. I mean, the Tumnus pedal is kind of close. The Soul Food, not so much. It's not about the 5K or however much. I guess the gold one now is going for like $20K, $20,000, which is ridiculous for any pedal. But a Klon sounds like a Klon. There are really no pedals that, to me, that come close enough.
I think that
there's a lot of pedals that say they do, but they don't.
For me, it depends on what type of amp it's being put into, about how close the clone is. For me,
and if you ask me, I think the J Rocket Archer pedal is the closest one.
That's the one I was going to say I have found to be the closest.
I have one on the way. Not one of those, but I do have a clone on the way, which is
which one?
I can tell you off air because it's not going to be released till August.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. But
well, that's exciting.
When I heard about it being developed, I'm like, yeah, put money in now. He goes, I got enough parts to build one now. I said, send it.
One more thing that I have to buy in August.
Like me, need.
You gotta try them, right? You gotta try them and put them to the test.
Yeah, that's funny.
So, guys, thank you so much for doing this, Chad.
Thank you for your generosity.
It was amazing. Great
guitars.
time.
Thank you, man, for having me. I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
Yes. Ben, Ty, always great time. I'm going to be at Well Strung Guitars tomorrow, and
Nice.
if I'm lucky, I'll play a '58 Carina Flying V.
That will be very, very cool.
Nice.
It's supposed to be there tomorrow. We'll see if it is.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
That may actually be the guitar of the week.
What was Ed's Flying V?
58 Flying V.
Was it? It was a 58.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool, man.
Yeah.
Very nice.
But it's going to be a lot of fun. and we'll get that video out real soon. I don't know what we have next week. What do we have next week? Anything? Are we doing anything special next week, Ty?
I'll be back here next Wednesday as long as you send me the link. I know that much.
Well, I mean, we wouldn't be anywhere without you, Ben. We love having you here. In fact, you're gonna say the final words tonight.
Oh, all right.
You are, because I love your final words.
All right. Well, definitely I want to thank Chad for joining us because he showed me some guitars tonight that I wasn't even sure existed, especially when we get into custom shops. I'm like, they made that? Wow. I'm still thinking about the stripes inlaid within the inlays, the inlays within the inlays. That's like, yeah.
It's very cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, what do we got coming up next week? More tone searching, more knowledge. You got the questions. We got the answers, hopefully. Hey, Boner Jams.
Boner Jams is here. I forgot to say hello to you. Hey, Boner.
Yeah, the one, the only
What
Boner
is
Jam,
up?
who we
Hopefully
do
you're enjoying
get
the
on
seven
here one
strings.
week as well.
By
That's
the
for
way,
sure.
just to let you know, every last Wednesday of the month, Boner Jams and 7 Over 8 have their own show called The Metal Show. Check that out on Johnny Bean's channel. Except if we're on, then check it out after we're on.
I think that's how they both showed up at the same time. They wrapped up their show and they went, "Those guys are still talking?" Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. They're probably talking about us. Let's jump in. And sure enough, we were. So
That's
it
right.
was rather good timing. So yeah,
was
we'll be back
just-
next week. Yep.
Just saying how Jay doesn't know how to play a D chord. He does know how to play one. He just doesn't know what it is.
Right.
So and then he jumps in like he had 6th sense.
Exactly. Yes. And someone else who I think he knows a lot more than he lets on.
Oh yeah, Jay is one of the best guitar players I know. He's insane.
Yeah, he's a
Great guitar player.
Great guitar player.
So definitely, always a pleasure. Ty's probably going to be modding a guitar or relicking it, one or the other, or both at the same time, depending on how careful he is. Dave's probably going to sell 4 guitars and buy 16 by the next show. We won't see most of them because they'll flip. They're already pre-sold. And who knows?
Wait,
what's
that's
going
not
on
my
there.
name. I'm not Flip. He's Flip.
Thank you, Lenny Lou. Thank you for being here. That was
Yes,
very nice.
and we also found out tonight that Dave's got such an extensive guitar collection that he's had to move it into Ohio to store some of them. Chad just merely holds them there, in case Dave wants them back, but he's not getting them back. That's not happening.
No, Chad, I don't hear you anymore.
See you, Buzzy.
Your
Have a
audio's
great week.
gone. Audio's gone.
Hey,
What did you do?
he'll defend himself.
Did your ears? Did they?
Your buds
hear
might
us?
have died.
Did your buds die? Can't hear you.
Nope, wasn't the mute.
Nope.
Muted.
We know,
You know
we're
what?
the #1 show on YouTube. Chad's trying to tell us. Thank you, Chad, for the support. #1 every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific,
Bluetooth.
1 a.m. in the UK. Hey, I think I heard him. I think I heard you.
Can you hear me?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
I don't know
are.
what's going on.
I don't know, but your mouth is
We're
not.
almost over anyway.
Your mouth is not equal to what's coming out. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So, yeah.
Yeah,
so
Chad-
Because it's the guitar cable. It's always the guitar cable.
yeah,
Right.
it's always the guitar. That's right, Mitch Heyman.
That's
do you have your
awesome.
outs? Do you have your ins plugged into your outs and your outs plugged into your ins?
So
I don't
as
know
I
what's
wrap
going
things up, Dave should be reaching for the sign-off portion, so he isn't looking for it at the end of the show. But he's not. I can tell. See, he's there. See, the right arm is moving. He's
Yeah.
getting ready, folks. So I want to
So-
thank Lenny Lou and Mickey Settlemeyer and Mitch Heyman and Terry's 536 Gs for posting links and all kinds of stuff, awesome stuff. He co-hosted with me on my channel on Monday night, and we even had people watching. Amazing. I know.
Wow.
So on behalf of Ty, Dave, Chad, and me, thanks for
Have a great
watching.
week.
Nez says, pick hard, pick often, and search for tone, and we'll see you next time, because I'm not doing the normal hold your doors open, folks, because that's a whole other channel stuff. So
And
just be good to each other and rock on. Buy Tessie switches. Use coupon code NESSAYS. See 15%. Visit our friends at FU Tone. Adam Reaver knows his tone. Of course, Jody head guitar straps are amazing. Like, how can you not have one of them?
I
Is that
love this
it?
guy.
I
I got one more thing. Remember, kids are people too.